can now.
Oh my God, that took for fucking ever.
What? I'm like messaging you on the phone, like.
I don't know what the hell you were doing. It sounded like you were doing vacuuming or something. I could hear you sitting for ages.
Oh, out there.
Where?
Stuff.
No, I could hear you. I could hear you making coffee or something.
I was making coffee.
Oh, wow.
You must be like psychic.
Yeah.
Who have we got? We got 9 people already on. I had all these questions. I forgot to add on there the 20,000 questions that I'm actually going to ask you about this one.
That's okay.
I had to go through all my boxes to find all. I had to go through my box to find your books.
Your box, not your box.
My box.
So if I cut out at all, it's because we're in Tamworth at the moment, and I'm using my phone data because the internet is so bad you can't hook to anything.
Oh my God, what are you doing in Tamworth? Like, you know,
we're taking Oscar to
that Dolly's guitar. I'm really impressed.
No, we're just staying here. We're on halfway because we're going to Dubbo to take Oscar to the zoo.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, shall we start? We've got 16 people anyway. Guys, I know you're all watching, and I know there's a lot more people that's going to come on and watch. And I know that you've all been asking for him because you've been nagging the shit out of me since forever. And so I just want to introduce somebody that's really special to me. And, you know, special not in a spastic way, but special. And he's author of, I don't know how many, like, here they are. Look, all of these. Where's the freaking camera? There. All of these. And I just want to welcome Scott Alexander King, the king of animal dreaming.
Oh, for
how are you,
Mr. King? Hi, everyone. Hi, Beck. Thanks for having me on.
I have to give a big intro. I've been like building up to this. So everyone's going to expect you to do some readings, and I've told them not to expect anything because you know, it depends on what frame of mind you're in.
Well, but I think for something like this, it might just be easier if they just tell me what animals they've experienced lately or whatever, and I can interpret them for them. It's easier than doing readings. Well, it is like a reading, but it's not a. It is. Yeah.
Well, what I wanted to do just before we jump in there, I just wanted to sort of like get some background on you, because some of the guys actually don't know your history apart from what I've actually told them. And I know it's crazy. And so like you've named your publishing company and of course your first book, Animal Dreaming. And why did you call it Animal Dreaming? And what does the whole dreaming part of it actually mean to you?
Well, obviously there's a huge Indigenous or Aboriginal significance associated with the word dreaming, and I'm not trying to lay claim to anything like that. So I'm not Aboriginal, and I've got Aboriginal friends, obviously, but I'm not Aboriginal, so I wouldn't dare try and take on what that word means because it's not my culture and my people. But it's for me, it means medicine. It means wisdom. It means knowledge. It means when I was younger, I just thought it meant like point of origin. So that's how I come from. So the animals are bringing me the information from the land that they live on, and just means to me the same as medicine or wisdom or power.
Medicine, wisdom,
I've never been asked that before.
Well, you know, I'm going to ask you something different, because everybody asks the wrong questions.
Like just been dropped into the deep end of the pool.
Well, I did send you the questions, in all fairness.
You might have said them, I never got them.
So one of the biggest achievements that you've done besides the book is this incredible card deck, followed by this incredible card deck. So Animal Dreaming and World Animal Dreaming. So if you were to be a card, what would you be?
Out of that deck? Well, do you know the one that keeps
decks, like out of all of them, like if you were going to be an animal in one of these decks, what would Scott Alexander King be?
The funny thing is each of my kids have got their card, and they've often asked me, what's your card, Dad? And so it's good that you're asking this, because the one card that keeps coming up for me over and over, whenever I pull that bloody deck out, the bilby turns up, which is all about fear, and I was like, I'm not afraid. usually, like when you pull a card, obviously you pull a card when you've got challenges or you're facing something that's happening, you know, so it's just like, you can do this, don't have to be anxious or worried. So
yeah,
that's, I know,
you that know that, like, whenever, I always tell this to my students, you know, whenever we go on a platform or you know, whenever we're doing anything, we do have that fear of not being good enough or stuffing it up, or
look, I wake up in the morning, when I know I've got a day full of readings, whatever, I wake up and I think, oh my God, I hope I can still do this. You know, like I hope, you know what I mean? Because it's like breathing in lots of ways, and you don't think about how cool it is you can breathe, you just do it, right? So when you're leading up to something, you just get it. It just does happen.
We always say before we actually go onto the platform show, there's usually somebody beside us, and we're like, don't be shit. You know, before we actually get up, like, whatever happens, don't be shit.
Well, at least
so we always
talk to you back. Like, at least when you're doing your mediumship, they talk to you. Whereas when I'm doing readings with the animals, they just sit there like this. And then they don't talk, obviously, because they're animals, right? But I mean, you know what I mean? They don't use words like, but when I'm on the wrong track, yeah, oh, that's right. But when I'm on the wrong track, they just shake their head slightly like this. I go, that's all. That's all I get. When I'm not on the right track slightly, they like that, just shake their head slightly. But that's all they ever give me. So.
Oh my God, I don't want your job. Just saying. I'm trying to find the Bilby card, because I've like complicated my world just because it's not complicated enough, and I've actually joined them all together. So I have.
You are insane.
I have both decks together. So when I read your cards, this is what they have to do.
Cards. That's 94 cards.
I know, but it's like 94 opportunities to screw yourself, pretty much, isn't it? So I've got, you know, they've got 50% chance to get a good one.
Yeah.
It always reminds me of
they're all good, Bec.
It always reminds me of years ago when you were having that that totem animal thing, and somebody got like an amoeba. Do you remember that? The amoeba and the flea.
I'll never forget when I was doing a one of the seminars at the Mind Body Spirit Festival in Sydney. My friend who's a keeper at Taronga came along, and this is before I knew him, but he wasn't like a friend at that stage that, you know, you could ring up and say, can you do something for me? He was in the audience, and he says, oh, can you tell me about Wolverine? I was like, either you really know your animals, or you're a plant here to test me.
Oh my God. So something that I didn't send in your questions, but I have to ask it anyway, is that back in the late 90s, I did send them. Go check your email. So back in the late 90s, I don't have the book with me because it is in a box, literally. We did a book with Dr. Frank Bella, called Kids, Indigo Monkeys. Yeah. So we're like nearly, you know, 10, 15 years getting towards that since you wrote that book. And, you know, there's whole new generations of children out there. Like, are you going to add some extra monkeys?
Look, I still do. I still work closely with the kids, and I still, you know, that still is something that's quite relevant. And the monkeys haven't changed. There is no extra.
There's no added like rangers or anything, you know. I just thought, because, you know, I know that, you know, the kids coming through are so awake.
You had that set up. I could tell.
I didn't actually. I was just sitting here and I just thought, oh, look, there's the question. So no, honestly, I didn't. I promise. But I was wondering, you know, because I know that, you know, you had the indigo children, and then the crystalline children, and then the, you know, I think I might have been. What? Yeah. You know, you've got all those, you got all the kids, right? And then there's the warrior. You know, nowadays the kids are so awake and so aware.
I don't know. You've frozen up. There's still the 5 kids. There's the warrior children, the children, and the winter children. So there's still 5 kids. There's still 5 groups of kids. they're all still the same because they're based around the elements. So, you know, unless we create some extra elements, I'm not likely to have any other monkeys come my way. But often the other apes are there, or the other monkeys are there to support their cousins. But they are the 5 archetypes, and they won't change in a flash.
Yeah, it's such an incredible book. I'd like to, you know, see it being used a lot more by people, because I think it's really valid, you know, when you're trying to deal with kids and understanding them and all that sort of stuff. So it's one of my favorite books.
They're not the same. Like when we were younger, there was always those standout kids, but and even when I was teaching, like that was 20 years ago now, the kids then, you could see them, they'd changed, like they'd stepped up. There was something happening with those kids. And then we went through the whole Indigo Children chapter, and, you know, it became really aware of just how special the kids are. But now this particular generation, like my son Oscar, like he's phenomenal, the things that he can do. Like the knowledge that he carries, and no one's taught it to him, you know, like and the things he comes out with, and they're just different. They're totally different.
They are.
But no matter what, those 5 archetypal monkeys are still there. Like there's only 5 that I'm aware of, and things haven't changed that much that the monkeys are evolving.
So is it possible for them to shapeshift from one monkey to another monkey?
They do, yeah. Well, elementally, if you look at, it's hard to explain without a whiteboard or something to draw it on, but I work strongly with the 5 elements, and in a circle cross sort of situation, like the medicine wheel.
Yeah, as well.
Like the 4 points and the 4 directions, the 4 elements, and then the central one, which is spirit, or the more ethereal sort of energy. Well, they do so water and air are polar opposites on that wheel, and earth and fire are polar opposites on that wheel. So you'll definitely see some corresponding energies, or some transition from being a little child to help, like when they're older. So my kids were all very much the water monkeys when they were little.
Yeah.
And now, because they're all air signs, so they really have. And it's nothing to do with the zodiacs, really. It does, yes, it does match sometimes, but it's not a rule. But they are all air element children, so they have evolved over time to be more of the air element monkey. So they but the polar opposite is still a comfort place that they can go back to. So they do. You see the water element. You see them living the water element, and the emotions, and the needing to be still and quiet, and they become really I can't say that word, pondering. And sometimes they become quite melancholy.
Would that be the contemplation?
Sorry, that's it.
Contemplation.
The
constipation.
Anyway, shut up. Anyway, so that's the emotion. That's the water side of their personality. But most of the time, they're the air, which is all about thinking and just thought and processing the mind, and like arguing and being argumentative. But also because they have this sense of justice, so they've all got the whole air-water thing going on. I'm an earth monkey. I'm an earth monkey, and a lot of my friends growing up were fire monkeys. So I've got that connection with the fire monkeys, and often the fire monkeys are showing themselves to be, the kids who are a little bit difficult or who march the beat of their own drum. So I really resonated with those kids growing up. Anyway, so that earth and the fire is. I don't think I've ever really lived the fire monkey, but I've certainly known the anger and the frustration that comes with being a fire monkey.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got the perfect experiment, being that Rosie and Oscar were born on the same day, so it's going to be interesting.
Yes.
Interesting to see, and the same stars, the signs. So it's going to be interesting to see when Oscar's older, just how relative they are.
Well, it's already really, because they're 12 years apart, so they're even the same Chinese zodiac. They're both ox in Chinese astrology, so which is unusual. So it's they're so similar. We actually call them celestial twins, because they think the same way, they act the same way, they talk the same way. And if you put photos of them side by side when they're the same age, when they're little, you would think that they were twins. Like, that's how close it is. It's just amazing. And then there's Caleb, of course, who's a Gemini like you, so he's a bit of a pain in the ass. They're all air signs.
We can't all be Virgos, Okay, so I still have some more questions because I can. So for the way that the world is at the moment, with all of this, Donald Trump and chaos and all this sort of shit, what animal would you give the world?
Well, the animal that's always been there, the turtle. So
no, I'm talking about, forget that. Like, if you were going to represent the world in the way it is now.
You know what, you are so I'll ask you, Bec, what would you suggest? See how you feel with that question.
I'd really grow.
Because I believe the world at the moment with
coyote.
Yeah, well, look, there's a lot of that's where I was going with the coyote, dingo, even jackal, a little bit of jackal in there, because there's a lot of cutthroat stuff going on. There's a lot of there's truth being revealed. There's a lot of underworld stuff going on, but there's also a lot of Joker sort of trickster sort of stuff going, because you never really know at the moment what's real and what's not. And I believe there's equal shares of true information being sent out into the world and information that's a little bit porky pie, and it's up to us to decide. So we are trying to weigh things up, and we're biting our own tail. We're running in circles because I don't really know which way to go or what to believe and what not to believe. We all have our own theories and our own feelings and thoughts, but no one has anything factual to base anything on. So there is a lot of trickery and a lot of deception. But seriously, the Mother Earth, like, she knows what she's doing, right? She knows what she's doing. And even if, like, I was watching, I can't remember, I was sitting here trying to remember the show that it was on. There was a movie, and they described, it might have even been like Pandemic or one of those sort of movies, I can't remember, but they described Mother Earth as being the ultimate serial killer, where she goes out and she does what's happening in the world now and spreading something around, to look. There's all these different theories, right? But I just love the fact that she knows exactly what she's doing. And anyway, the story is that even like serial killers, she wants to be caught, and she gives you all the information that's available to heal and to stop the deaths or whatever. You know what I mean? So you think about the Black Plague, think of all those different times when she really let it loose. Well, I believe there's stuff like that happening now where she's offering us tools, but because we just don't know what's real and what's not. So her totem is, Mother Earth's totem in my world is the sea turtle, because there's lots of stories of the earth being brought up from the primordial belly of the grandmother ocean to create land masses, and it was brought up on the back of a turtle. So, if you think of the shell of the turtle as being like the protective ozone layer or our aura, it's there to protect us. If you flip it over, it's like a bowl that provides and nourishes. So to me, that is the epitome of the Earth Mother, but she knows exactly what she's doing. It's not her animal. I don't think we need to look at what would be the Earth's animal, but I think more of a collective, the people who are all, like, there's a lot of predatory stuff going on now where no one really knows what's real. There's a lot of cutthroat. There's a lot of, no one really knows what's going on. So that's us. That's really us that's doing that. It's not the Earth Mother. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I know from when I trained under you all those years ago, you taught us that at any time the totem can change depending on what you're actually working with, and you have your power animal, of course. And so I guess it's relative to something like that, where each animal is going, at the time of whatever it is, it's going to represent something different, just like we do. I guess we all go through that tower card.
Yeah, that's right. We all do. But the thing is, like, the word totem is probably not the right word, because totems, as a cultural thing, there's a lot of different ways of looking at what a totem is. So I just see the word totem meaning spirit friend or animal friend. And I also see that they're more like archetypes. So you might be going along, doing one thing, something may happen to the side that shifts your mood or shifts your view of the world or guts you, or really throws you for a six. Your energy is going to change, therefore your animal will also change. So the other archetypes that may have come up in the past to help you get through stuff, they may step forward at that time. So I don't know. Yeah, it's they can chop and change a lot during the course of a day, but over time, they also evolve and they also change and mature, but they never leave. Like, they might step to the side for a while to let the young uns to have their say, but they never really, they change and they adapt, but they never really leave. So I hope that helps and comforts people
really
who are really connected to their totem animals.
Awesome. So I want to talk a little bit more about animals a little bit shortly, but I just want to bring to the attention of something that's really important to you, and animal dreaming publishing. I want to talk about that because it's such an incredible venture that you and Trudy have started. This amazing well, I mean, look, nobody ever knows the work behind, a banner. It doesn't matter what banner you're putting out there. Nobody really knows the true, the true work and the hardship and the dedication and sacrifice that actually goes into something. They just see gray hairs. They just see this, this banner of, hey, this is Animal Dreaming Publishing, and blah blah blah. But it is being serious about it. It is becoming one of the world's most leading new age publishing companies. It is. You got to say it though, but I can say it because I know it. I'm the psychic Barber. I know what's coming. Stuff aside, there's been some incredible publications that have come out of your office and out of from Animal Dreaming Publishing. So many dreams have been fulfilled. I mean, look at next cards that are coming up. They're incredible. And, when you see the infancy of when they first came out as opposed to what's actually coming out, and that's guidance coming from you guys, from you and Trudy and your specialist crew of, with
our team, our creative
graphic team. Anything like that, because you have this raw project that you put on the table, and then it's got to go through editing, and then it's got to go through graphics, and then it's got to go. So, and then you have this thing coming out there. So for all of these people that are watching, it really has been a long dream in getting it out, 15, 16 years, probably more of getting it out there into the big wide world from the content. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, you can tell everybody how old you are, really, or you can just pretend that you're 15. But,
17.
17, yeah. So what I wanted to say, because I get people asking me, how do you get published and what do you have to do? And so how do people go from a budding writer to a published author with you guys?
Well, how do you mean? How do they right from the beginning? Because if you don't know how to, if you're wanting to become a writer, the best way to become a writer is to start writing. That's the advice I give everyone. So, but once you've got something on paper, and it doesn't have to be finished. But as long as you've got the basic plan or a structure and you know exactly what you're going to do, the best way to get started is to chat to us, because often if your manuscript is so raw, we can see it and think, okay, we can offer guidance to maybe shift the direction or just alter a few things so it gives it a greater audience. We often get people come to us with their life stories, for example, that we've all had our challenges in life and we all feel that, we have to get it out of ourselves or out of our head and put it on paper. So writing a life story, for example, is something a lot of people want to do, but there's so many different ways of presenting that story to the world and ensuring, therefore, that people will want to buy it or pick it up and know more. Do you know what I mean? So because it's hard to get a biography or a life story out when you haven't had any other books before. No one knows who you are. So if you can create, you can alter the direction of that path, or not the direction, but the format or the greater purpose of why you're writing that story, then you're going to attract a greater audience. So it's things like that. So people come to us, they've not written anything, and so we don't hear from them for another year or so until they've finished it. But they come to us, they've got their manuscript, it's very, very raw, and we basically talk you through the whole process. There's nothing much to do after you've written it, because, our team, we do the editing, we do the layout, we do everything. But, of course, the whole way through, we're chatting to you and guiding you and taking your advice on board and all those sorts of things to make sure that it's what you want. But, yeah, we've got pretty experienced group of people there. So it's a powerhouse that, we can present. So
how do you feel when, you've had somebody that's come to you and they've got, like an idea and a concept, and then all of a sudden, you've got the finished product, and how does it feel to like put that out into the world?
Or as a publisher?
Both.
As an author or a publisher? Well, as an author, it's actually, I'll start with that because that's what I am first. I'm an author, then I'm a publisher second. But to have something, it's like, I kid you not, it feels very surreal because I don't write. I've got a lot of projects on the go, but I'm a slow writer. It can take me a couple of years to finish something. That Afterworld book, for example, I started writing that close to 20 years ago. So, it's not a very big book. But but the funny thing is, as you're writing, you can see it, you can visualize it. It's very similar to, like, I always compare it to Trudy, my wife, carrying our 3 kids. Like, you can feel them, you know what it's. But when they're born, it's a totally different feeling. It's this surreal miracle almost that comes over you, and sometimes you warm to your baby straight away, and other times you have to look at them and stare a little bit and think to yourself, where the hell did you come from, and get to know them. Does that make sense? So even as an author, like, I've got a few now, so I remember pulling out Animal Dreaming in its first edition when we self-published, and I cried and cried and cried. The relief that came forth was amazing, but I also was crying because I realized that something that was terribly sacred to me and personal was now going to be general knowledge, and that was a bit confronting. But then when the World Animal Dreaming Oracle came out, I must admit I sat there for a while and stared at it thinking, where did you come from? I don't remember making you, and it was this really weird, surreal, not disconnection, but it wasn't instant. I freaking love them now. It didn't take long for that love to in, but it's like giving birth to a child. It's like a miracle. It's something that you can't prepare for. It's hard to explain.
I think books eat less though than children.
Say that again.
Books eat less.
Books eat less. Well, it depends on how you write them.
Yeah, well, I know.
That grow by itself, All this didn't grow by itself.
Several bags and twisties at 3 a.m. writing sessions.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you don't even know when you're going to write. I've got to go write that down right now, and you think I'll only be 10 minutes, and then an hour and a half, 2 hours later, you're still writing. So it can happen any time.
Yeah. So I have a personal question. So I know that your daughter Rosie is an incredible. I'm having a brain fart right now. This is Fibro, an incredible illustrator for Animal Dreaming Publishing, and you're an incredible writer for Animal Dreaming Publishing. And I would just like to know if Trudy's going to do anything for publishing.
She's got a project. She's got a project that she's mulling over.
Is it like a goddess one? Is it a goddess one? Trudy's a goddess one.
It could be, but it's not. It's not so much the topic. It's the genre. That's what she's excited about. She's got her own favourite genre that she wants to write about. Want to write to create something in that genre.
Good.
She hasn't quite decided on the topic yet. She hasn't quite decided yet.
I think that's going to be absolutely amazing. So I can't wait to see that. There's an empowerment retreat, a writing empowerment retreat coming up in 2021. Do you want to tell people about that?
Well, if you want to write, it's like a 3-day intensive. It is an empowerment conference because there's a lot of talking, but there's also a lot of learning, a lot of laughing, a lot of remembering. But we offer a lot of guidance and a lot of wisdom. We basically, Maria Alita is the co-host, and we basically we don't vomit, but we sort of vomit all this stuff that all the experiences that we've had, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because the whole purpose of the conference is to help people cut corners, but also to empower them to do it themselves. So we want people to write. We want people to write about what they're passionate about. We want people to, and also artists are welcome too, so to paint or draw or whatever you're passionate about. But the conference itself, people, if you want to write and you want to know how to write well and you want to turn your love of writing into a potential career as an author, I think the conference is definitely, that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to put you on a path of knowing why you're on this path. Like, I kid you not, because when being a dad, being a husband, having my animals and everything, none of that really, they're all gifts, they're all treasures, they're all gifts. But it was the writing that made me remember who I was, and the writing is what gave me the sense of purpose. So that's what the whole conference is about, empowering people to not just believe they can write, but to know they can write.
Yeah, that's amazing. Guys, I've got the www.animaldreamingpublishing.com up there. So if you jump on the website, you'll be able to find all of the details for all of Scott's incredible books, plus all of the books from Animal Dreaming Publishing, and all the stuff about the retreat as well. So get onto that website, and I think you have a good browse, and spend lots of money, because it's worth it. So I have.
The conference is actually dirt cheap. So, I believe that it's something that it's an investment. It's not so much a purchase, it's an investment, because investing
in your career, and it is worthy. And you've got two leaders in the industry that are going to be there at the same time. And I know from seeing you lot together, it's more like a comedy anything else. But that's what it's about. When I'm doing mediumship, if people are laughing, the more they laugh, the easier it is to actually work. And it's like
and people
flows.
And people connect. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's nothing worse when you've got somebody like this. Yeah, I'm going to write a book. What are you going to, I'm going to write a book about monkeys.
Well, we have had people approach us like that, but it's mainly because they're afraid that they're not worthy, or they're afraid that they're not really qualified to write. A lot of people feel that there has to be some sort of qualification that empowers you to write. And they say, you would know about that because, you're known in the industry for what you write about. It's like, well, I wasn't always. I had to carve this little corner of the market myself. I had to create it.
That's it.
Yeah.
So during the week, my class my development class had this discussion about the dragonfly. Okay, so there's all this debate about what does dragonfly mean. Now, I know what it means because you taught me, but can you tell them what dragonfly means to you?
Dragonfly is the breaker of illusions to me. Dragonfly helps you to. Sorry. There's several different aspects to dragonfly, to be honest. Dragonfly is the breaker of illusions. The dragonfly can't turn its head from side to side. Its head is anchored, so it can only see what's directly in front. So, the whole being able to look at the world from a broader perspective isn't an option for the dragonfly. There's a long, long story about how the dragonfly got its name and its medicine and everything. I'm not going to go into that now because it's a really long story. But anyway, it's the breaker of illusions. It's the one that helps us to see when illusion is being played out. The dragonfly helps us to see when something, like it's like, in the Matrix when the cat's walking along and all of a sudden it goes zzz, 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 it's walking. That's the sort of stuff that the dragonfly can help you to perceive when something's not on the level or not right. Also, though, it is a symbol of the afterworld, because there's lots of people associate butterflies and dragonflies with the afterworld. A lot of people don't know why, but the dragonfly is also, it represents the passing of soul, passing of the moving from one plane to another. It's because they start off as an aquatic creature, and then, of course, they grow wings and take to the air and never return to the water again, but they spend their whole life searching for that lost part of themselves in the lake that they've just been born from. But anyway, so dragonfly is a breaker of illusions and also a messenger of the afterworld in a nutshell. So what does it mean to you? What does it mean to you, seeing as
exactly
you know?
The same. What? Exactly. I told them that it was the break, see-through illusions, breaker of illusions. So it's a question. You taught me, so like, what's the point of saying something different when you taught me what it was? Because I think they do.
That's what it means to me. That's what it means to me, and it's also based on stories and legends and things that I've read over the time. But
whenever I see the dragonfly, I'm looking around me for what aren't I seeing clearly? Like what's misconstrued, what's not real, what's a perception. So I'm actually looking for a glitch in something that I'm perceiving as being reality.
It can also be something that's happening within yourself as well, when you've mistaken a thought for intuition or an idea for, a message, or, we can all do that. But the dragonfly also is able to move between the realms as well, because it's can move between with the in-between spaces. So it also has access to the fairy realm, and that's where it also is how it's connected also to the afterworld. But it's got that ability to transition between the veils or through the veils or move between the veils. So as a medium, that would be an animal that would be very powerful to have as a support. Because you don't want to be getting tricked or by illusion or having illusion thrown in your face when you're a medium. So.
No, you don't. Otherwise, we would be shit. Anyway, guys, I know you're watching. If you have any animals or something that they want to ask Scott or ask a question, jump online and start sending us some messages so we can see. I'm not seeing any messages.
That'd be great.
Anytime soon.
That's okay.
Guys.
Well, what have you seen lately? What's been haunting you lately? What have you been seeing lately? What animals you've been experiencing lately?
No, I've got to tell you what happened last night, right? So we were sound asleep, and I don't know what time it was, and Ari, or we think it was, we don't know what it was. Seriously, it sounded like two jaguars fighting in the bedroom. We shit ourselves, and it was like, it was bizarre, and like in the bedroom, because outside there's no, like, it's a bit of a drop, but the growl, the noise, and I just thought, if that's come out of a Maine Coon, well, oh my God. But it literally sounded like something else, and we just sat there going, what the hell was that? We thought, like, could it be a fox? Would they do something like that? And I don't know, like it's
But you said it was in the, did it sound like it was in the room, or was it in the room?
It sounded like there were two animals in the room fighting, and it sounded like a jaguar and a mountain lion. It was just, and it was only her, and it was just like, what the hell was that? Like, she went flying. I don't know. It was weird. We cannot work it out for the life of us, but it did not sound like a Maine Coon.
But the cat was fine. The cat didn't.
Well, she kind of like crapped herself. Really, it's like she got thrown off the windowsill. It was like something pounced on the windowsill, and she just went flying back. But the noise.
But you don't have a balcony or anything there.
No.
Well, do you know what? It's just going to sound a bit weird, but many years ago, I used to go around to people's houses and clear the energy, or clear the energy in the house. But I'd take my cat with me, and the cat would show me, that was Selena. She would show me where I had to smudge, or I had to do some drumming or whatever. Anyway, there was this one house I was called to, and the woman who owned the house, well, she was married, she had a couple of kids, but they had been experiencing loud noises and visions in the house. Like, they were sitting on the couch one day or one night, and it was like someone had put their hand behind all the books on the bookshelf and pushed all the books off the bookshelf. So they all jumped up with this loud crashing sound. The cat, like yours, crapped itself. But when they turned, everything was fine. So then a little while later, he was walking down the hallway, and there was a woman standing at the end of his child's bed. And of course, he was like, what? So he came back, and he could see her quite clearly. And he said she had strawberry blonde sort of hair, and she just had like a presence about her. So, and then he looked again, and she was gone. So when I went to that house, they were convinced they had a poltergeist, or they were convinced that they had, something haunting the house. And I said, look, the cat's fine. Like, the cat's not doing anything. So obviously there's no haunting. So I don't believe there was a presence in the room so much. But what I said to these people, I said, well, who's the woman? Who's the woman? Why is she trying to get our attention? I said, well, there's two women in this relationship. There's the woman who owns the house, and then this other woman. And I said, I'm being shown that there's been some disagreement between these two women. I said, this woman, she's not a dead woman. She's alive, but she's got this bit of a frustration with you. Maybe she's jealous of your land. Maybe she's jealous of your relationship. And it turned out it was the woman's sister. She knew instantly who I was talking about. So she confronted the woman, confronted her sister, and they had a long talk, and everything cleared up. Maybe there's something going on in the house, Bec. Maybe because you've not been there terribly long. Maybe it's not haunting. It's not. I believe there's a residual energy. Maybe the house has experienced something over and over, and maybe it's been created like a bit of an imprint on the house, and maybe that's what you just stumbled upon.
I was just saying to Bec the other day actually that I felt like I'd seen something in the house. As a medium, remember at Circle of Stones, you'd sit there and you'd just see this shadow. It's just
the smoking man. Don't you remember the smoking man who lived upstairs? We'd get that smell of smoke. You get the smell like an ashtray, and you'd hear footprints. It was an old car showroom, really, really old car showroom. When I say car showroom, it was really just a shed that they had cars in. But and we could hear the footprints. So it doesn't have to be a haunting, just an imprint.
Well, I thought it just came past, and I'm like, I said to her the other day, I feel as if I feel as if there's something in here, and because Ari, she sits up like a little meerkat, like a Maine Coon sit up, and she'll just sit up like a little meerkat and just look, but. I don't know, it's just really funny because I'd only just said to Beth the other day that, I feel like there's something in the house and it feels like an old woman. And we all laugh because in the shower there's all them granny rails and toilet granny rails, and it's like, maybe the old dear croaked it in the house or something.
But he used to say it might also be something that happened long before the house was even built, so something there's maybe a residual energy in the land that the house is built on. There's all sorts of different ways that energy can manifest, and you see them sometimes just like they see you sometimes. They come and they go. They move between the veils like we do. It's no different really, but they've always been there.
I don't know what Ari saw last night, but I tell you what.
They may have very well been there always. It would be good to know what she's doing.
Would the girl have been her or something else?
Well, who's to say that they didn't have dogs? You don't know. Might have been dogs there.
Seriously, it sounded like a mountain lion was in the bedroom. Are you seeing any comments from viewers?
No, I can't see any.
Me either. I don't know why.
It happens sometimes. We'll call it a glitch because they're out there. There's people watching.
I can't see them. Maybe I'll have a look on my phone and see if I can see some questions here. But I'll turn the volume down, otherwise it'll be crazy. But yeah, it scared the living crap out of us last night. And
there's 1,001 things that could be, but I just feel my gut feeling is it's more a residual energy. I might be wrong.
I just hope that whatever it is doesn't sort of rock up tonight, because I swear I'll absolutely shit myself.
You need a good night.
She's not here tonight, so anyway. So I'm not seeing any questions, and I don't know why. Why can't I see my questions?
I don't know.
I know. Nobody wants to answer any questions. It says comments, so banners, comments. They're not coming through, but anyway. All right, so I'm going to ask them off here anyhow. So let's have a look here. So people are talking about ducks and crows, dead cats.
Ducks and crows, the dead cat.
Yeah. So Caroline Mitchell wants to know, how do you know what your spirit animal is?
Well, look, people ask that all the time as well, and it's quite simple if you want to really nut it out. It's the one animal that you can't not think about. It's the one animal that if you could become an animal and stay in that animal form forever and ever and ever and never once get bored or frustrated with your decision, that would be your animal, because we all have one. Bec, I think, has 1,000 different animals, don't you? Like, you can't decide whether you want to have rats in your life or cats or turtles. But, I mean, you know, it's that one animal that is really close to you, the one that you know in your heart that you couldn't live without. And that's one way to find out. But you'll see them also. Often they'll appear to you in dreams. They'll come to you over and over and over in one form or another, whether it be you might be in a restaurant and there's a barn owl painting on the wall. You go outside and a barn owl swoops. You might turn on one of those Midsummer Night Murder type shows and there's a scene of a barn owl against a moon. You know, they keep coming. They'll keep rocking up. They'll present themselves and they'll stalk you. They'll stalk you until you acknowledge them. They also come about.
I don't know what I am then. I wouldn't have a clue. But the one animal that is really. Hey, what was that?
What are you?
I don't know. The one animal that is really sacred to me, and the one animal that I absolutely adore is the Andean condor, and it always has been. That's my shapeshift, though. But still,
always love the condor.
Yeah, so the condor is really sacred to me. But then, you know, otter, skunk, you know, I love my skunks, and, you know, I love my otters as well.
That's Caleb's favourite animal too. If Caleb could become any animal, it would be an otter.
This is my otter that Susie got me from Ontario.
They're really big, those ones,
aren't they cute?
They're massive. Yeah.
So look, I don't know. Like, for me, I will call them in no matter what. But I really don't know. But maybe it's butterfly, because I've always drawn butterflies, and my first tattoo ever was a butterfly.
Yeah, but I think that's when you have that happen and you love them, and then you look at what you're doing with your life as a medium. In my world, of course, you've got a freaking butterfly. Like, what do you think you're going to have?
Well,
you know?
You're asking me, like, you know, geez, you asked me what day. Like, depends on what page I'm on.
You've never said, and I'm just curious to know what animal, if you could claim one, what it would be. Because you know what mine are, don't you?
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah. Weasel, owl, and what's on your drum? Weasel, owl.
Oh, that's cheating. That's cheating. My primary ones are the fox and the owl. Yeah, the fox and the barn owl.
Fox, isn't it?
Weasel. I've got weasel energy. I've got fox energy, deer energy. A lot of my animals are European, whereas you're really drawn toward the North American animals, aren't you? More the South American or the.
I know, because I love otters, but I love weasels and like those little, you know, anything like that. Skunks. I love skunks.
Skunks and weasels are the same family. Skunks, ferrets, wolverines, they're all the same family.
Like, it's hard because you know, it depends. When I look at things, like when I look at the oceans and I look at things like that, I'll say, well, it's the humpback whale. Absolutely adore the humpback whale. Not interested in dolphins. But then, you know, I'm absolutely crazy about octopus. Like, love octopus. They're so smart.
You seen that documentary?
Don't go there. I cried my heart out until I saw that tiny little baby one, and I just thought, oh, she had a baby. Yeah. Should have had it. So look, it's just wonderful. At the moment, it's probably octopus, but I couldn't help. I don't know if any of you guys have watched it. It's this Netflix documentary at the moment. I think it's called My Octopus Teacher or something like that, and it's about this incredible guy's relationship with this octopus. And I was watching it, and the whole time, because octopus only live for a year because they starve themselves basically when they give birth. I'm just like going, feed her, for God's sake, give her a fish. Don't let her die. So, you know, I just.
But it's not the way, is it? Yeah.
I don't care, because you know what? I used to watch Meerkat Manor, and he got bit by that snake. That was bullshit. They should have taken him to the vet. He's a show. Do you remember that?
Well, did you ever see? There was a Disney documentary a long, long time ago when I was a kid. So you probably weren't even born. But it was, I think it was called something like the Far North or something. It was all about the Arctic, and they got these lemurs. The story was that lemurs committed suicide by jumping off cliffs, right? And they just believed that.
Yeah.
And they herded them. They herded these lemurs off the cliff because for the footage they wanted it to be accurate. So they reenacted it. How awful!
Oh my god, that's just so bad.
These poor little guys, I know. So
that is just so crap. So Anne Salinas wants to know about magpies.
Well, look, it's pretty obvious in lots of ways. To me, the magpie basically says, don't play too much in the dark, don't spend too much time in the light, walk the fine line between the two, because both the light and the dark can be deceptive. So stay on the straight and narrow, acknowledge both, stay on the straight line, and don't spend too much time in either of those two areas. So it's like the yin-yang in lots of ways, because it reminds us that even in darkness, light can exist or has to exist. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there. And light needs the darkness to exist as well. So there's a little bit of each in other. That's the little white dot in the or the little coloured dot in the middle of the, the yin yang. The two sides is the white dot and the black dot. Just to remind us that even in darkness you'll find light, and in light you will find darkness, like shadows, and they're there. So the magpie says, let's acknowledge both, but let's not dabble too much in either of them. Let's keep the straight line. So I hope that helps in a nutshell.
So Zoe wants to know, is the crow and the raven the same?
Sorta, but not. No, not exact. There's slight physical differences, but they are very, 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 very close cousins. Yeah.
They're pretty cool. They're corvids, aren't they?
Yeah. And people often think that the currawong is part of that family too, but they're not.
Oh, they're pigs. I don't like them. Currawongs are just like.
I don't think, is it the curraw or the magpie? Maybe it's the magpie that's not a member of the family. Anyway, people, because they just associate the similar. Now I'm confused. The likeness between their shape and their structure and their hard, snappy beaks and their.
No, I think it's the currawong. I don't think currawongs are corvids. I'm not sure.
I don't think they are. I've got this house. I don't think they are. I should know, but I can't remember right.
Yeah, but, in all fairness, we've done stuff in the past that was written centuries ago, and I mean, look, seriously, if you asked Elton John to go back and sing his first ever song he wrote, he'd probably go, what? You got to go back.
I know, but I pride myself on honouring all the animals by knowing a little bits about them and stuff. You think that's a piece of basic information I should know. And I do know, I just can't remember whether it's magpie or currawong. You've frozen up.
Okay. So here's one that's a little bit different. Katrina Novak's written, my cat passed in 2011. He came and visited me one night because my daughter's cat was sick and passed away a week later. He was telling me that my daughter's cat was ready to die. So how does that work? Because I know that happens when when loved ones, when human loved ones are ready to pass away. Quite often you'll see them sit up and they'll go, oh, mum's here or dad's here, or somebody's talking here, or Uncle Bruce is here or something. So that's the first time that's actually been raised. So is that true of animals as well? They'll go to
I don't understand, right? They can't. Well, of course they do. They're sentient beings like you and I. Like, they've got a mind, they've got emotions, they've got a spirit. And if they can see the spirit world, that's pretty cruel to say you can't come and play afterwards. So you know what I mean? It's pretty sick, isn't it?
The fact that cat has come and got the other cat, like that's
okay.
Kind of cool.
There's two ways of looking at that, because the other cat may have come, but because we humans, we're the only, we've got this thing about our emotions, and we get stuck into our emotions and they rule our lives, whereas animals they understand emotions, but they use them to manipulate us. I'll tell you that. Like, cats and dogs will make us feel so guilty because they want something, but the cat may have come, but they're not really tied up in the emotions like we are. So I'm going to say that might be on a scale of 1 to 100, maybe a 40% chance. So, so what I'm going to say is that it may have been a someone in spirit who thought that it was way less threatening or way less, that's going to freak you out way less if they present themselves in the form of something that they know that you loved and that you miss. Like an animal is a nice way for the spirits to present themselves to us. And I'm saying that because when I was a kid, I was followed by a black cat for many, many years. I thought was real. I could not understand why we had this cat that was allowed to be in the house, whereas my parents didn't really want pets at that time. And we had this cat, and one night it walked up the hallway, and I was watching it, and it stood up on its back legs and literally morphed into my grandfather. And just for a split second, I saw that. So I do strongly believe, and I know that if I'd seen my grandfather in spirit at that time, I probably would have died. I probably would have literally just stopped breathing and just dropped to the ground and joined him. But but an animal, no, that was fine. I wouldn't freak out. So that's just sometimes they will show themselves in ways that's going to make you feel less threatened. And maybe I believe in this case, it could have been the cat coming to visit, because there's nothing to say that it wouldn't. But it's more likely that someone has come to tell you that information.
That's so cool, because I know that I've seen it a lot too, and you always, I know from working with spirit every single day that animals can see spirit, and just the way that animals can detect actually death. Like I know that there's been a few documentaries about cats that will sit on the bed of the elderly that are ready to pass over, and so they really do detect or see things that we actually can't see, or some people can't feel. So I always
the subtle vision.
Wish I had.
They've got the subtle vision. They can. Well, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. But they have the subtle vision, but also because they're not so, their brains and their bodies aren't locked up with arguments and thoughts and doubt and fear and stuff. So they can see, and whether they're seeing spirit or whether they're just seeing a truth, like because they're not clouded by human bullshit. You know what I mean? And I think that's why I compare animals to little kids, because little babies and little kids see spirit just as readily as animals do. It's because they're not blocked and they're not clogged up.
What about autistic kids?
Yeah, well, they keep. Well, it depends, isn't there? Because there's so many different levels and different types and different. What's the word? Arenas, different areas. But they're all super aware. Like they're 100% switched on. So you're going to have kids who are switched on in that area. You're going to have some of these kids who are switched on with technology or switched on with art. It's just the way they perceive the world. So if you've got an intuitive kid who's been diagnosed with autism or Asperger's or anything like that, if they start saying they're seeing stuff, they're seeing stuff.
Yeah, that's it. I remember my nephew, who's autistic, said one day that he felt sick, and that the lady across the road made him sick, and the next minute he was like heaving because it's literal. Like it's a real literal thing, and so it's really funny. So what do we got here? Let me see here. Nick Prince saying, I held my brother's dog as she died, and I watched her come to me, lick my face, and take off. Okay.
Yeah, well, but to me, it's no to me, it's no different to losing a friend, like a human friend. Like what makes us think we're the only ones who can do that? I strongly believe the dog did exactly what she felt. I strongly believe that animals have that spirit. They have this sense of going home, but they don't feel it's hard to explain. Like even like your cat, for example, like you believe she loves you and she can't exist without you. She can't, she waits for you to come home, whatever. But I guarantee if she was to come and live with us, we would become her what's a group of her colony? We would become her collective. We would become part of her family. She wouldn't forget you, but she would adapt to us. You know what I mean? So animals, like they're going to get to the afterworld and they're going to remember, but they're not going to hold on to it like we do. They're not going to be anchored. But when a dog passes and it's happy to get to where it's going, the natural instinct for a dog that's been raised around children and family is to say goodbye, or to show excitement, or show enthusiasm, or to show thanks or gratitude. I believe that there's no reason in the world why that dog couldn't have shown itself like that. That's a beautiful story, and I totally believe it.
Yeah, I know, like my little bear, my little rat, he comes up in readings quite often.
And you see him? Have you seen at the corner of your eye, I thought, oh, that's him, and then you looked and thought, oh, that's right, he's not here anymore? Have you had those glimpses?
No, I haven't. But a friend of mine, Jackie, who's also a psychic medium, he always turns up in her readings, and she's seen him quite a few times. So just recently, Bec had a reading with her, and he turned up in her reading. She's like, Bear, who's Bear? And then Jackie's like, oh, it's the rat. So he comes up, and he was such a really important animal for me. I say quite often with true honesty that, he got me through a really, really difficult part in my life. And, when I lost him, I was devastated. I mean, rats don't live that long. But I think through love and nurture, I ended up with him for an extra, good extra 6 or 7 months, which was great. But yeah, he turns up all the time in readings, not my readings, but other people's readings.
You did well then. You did really well.
Yeah, he did really well. And I've got another friend who's got a macaw. Her name was Banter, and she's.
I can't see why that couldn't. Like, for me, that makes so much.
What, that they come in? Are you there? Hey, ground control to Major. You there? Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. It just.
Yeah, I've got a friend who's had a scarlet macaw called Bandit, and Bandit passed over, and she used to be like on Facebook, and she had a page and everything. And that's how I got to know Diane, and Bandit died. Bandit actually came to me and said I had to contact Diane about and pass all these messages. And so I had all these messages. There's going to be a feather found in somewhere that you won't recognize. Like, Bandit's leaving you all these clues. And she rang me up and she goes, I'm hearing this ringing. And then I realized it was that. She goes, and she moved house, and I said, rang her up and I said, Bandit's here. She's telling me she's with you, and to prove it, she's leaving you a feather. And she said, there's no way. There's no more Bandit feathers. I've moved house. I've cleaned everything out. She went to get like a tampon out of a tampon box, and in the bottom of a box was one of Bandit's feathers. And
well, that makes, like, I cannot argue with that. We've had so many similar experiences. So, like, we had a black cat. We've had quite a few black cats, but this particular one, we had her for many, many years, and then she just vanished one night. One night we went out to bring her in, and she just wasn't there. Actually, I think that was Selena as well. Did you ever meet Selena? She was she was black, short hair, domestic short hair. Anyway, she disappeared back for about over a year, and she'd come to us in our dreams, and we'd come to us, like, we'd be sitting in the lounge room, and we'd look out and we'd see this cat on the veranda, and we'd go out and there'd be nothing there. But she'd come to us in our dreams just to say, I'm coming home, I am coming home. A year and a bit later, after this, she'd been gone for a year and a bit, we looked out, and there she was, actually sitting on the veranda, on the driveway, coming up to our little cottage, and she was sitting there, and she looked, and we knew straight away that she'd come home to say goodbye. So she'd been gone, and she physically came back. So I don't doubt at all that animals can communicate with us in our dreams after they've died, when they're still alive. Doesn't matter. Like, they can come to us, they can tell us stuff, they can share information, they can guide us. Whether they stay for very long, I can't say, because animals are not like people. They've got bigger things to do. So I don't doubt at all that your friend's macaw came through and did that.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes perfect sense. They're no different to us.
Yeah. Do you believe that animals can be reincarnated?
As what?
Humans, or animals, or humans as animals, or animals as animals?
You know what? I don't know. I do believe that animals can come back as other animals. Look, whether it's just a weird, spooky coincidence or a cruel joke or a fact, that animals, you get, like, you'll lose a dog and then you might get another dog, or someone might just give you another dog, and it's exactly the same personality, does all the same things as the other dog. To me, well, why can't they reincarnate? But why would an animal de-evolve and become human back? Like, why would it? Why would it? Why would it reincarnate as a human? Why? That makes no sense.
I'm into that. So, Tina Greer's written up here. Steph sees ladybirds all the time. What do ladybirds mean?
Okay, so when you say she sees them all the time, is this always happened, or is it more like recently, or because ladybug, I can tell you, is part as part of the beetle family in one way or another. They all have a similar message, and it's all about misunderstanding. So whenever someone comes to me and they've got having a reading and there's a beetle of any kind in there, I'll say, I will talk about maybe a miscommunication, a misunderstanding, a fight that didn't have to happen, even though there may not have been a fight, but it's just this sense that we can't talk anymore because there's been something's been misconstrued, miscommunicated, and it's been taken the wrong way. And it's been, so I believe when Ladybird is stalking you, it's about coming home. So it's about returning home to maybe chat to a sister or a mum or an aunt that you might have lost contact with because of some stupid argument. When people say, so what happened? Like, I don't really remember what happened because it was all a misunderstanding. So I believe if you're being stalked by beetles of any kind, but ladybirds in particular, it's about going home. So there's been a misunderstanding. Chat to someone who you haven't spoken to in a long, long time, and they'll be freaking happy to hear from you. And then after that, the ladybirds won't rock up anymore.
Oh, I love ladybirds. I always thought they were abundant.
They can. They can also mean luck. They can mean luck. They can mean prosperity. They can mean good fortune. You know.
I've been pulling them out of swimming pool, thinking, "Hey, I need these things." You know, don't tell me.
But look, as I said at the beginning, you got to. This is what they mean to me. So you might have a different interpretation. To you, they may mean, you know, like we're nearly going to get a sports car or something. It could be anything. So it's the patterns that form when you have these experiences, and there's something happens and you see them again, and that similar, like a similar thing happens. That's your pattern. So that's your language for that animal. You can't, and you shouldn't say, "Oh, Scott says this, so that must be true," because that's bullshit. Like, that's my interpretation. Once you get your language happening.
Oh my God, my education's been bullshit.
Well, you see dead people. I don't do that. So like, you've got that already. So don't feel bad. I can't do the dead people thing.
Gay George has written, "My cat runs sideways when there's a spirit around."
Yeah, well, okay. I don't know what to say to that. It makes sense. Like, yeah.
My cat's.
I wouldn't know what to say to that because it just makes sense. But I don't. If that's a question, if it's a statement, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. So a lot of people say that you know, when their parents or loved ones pass over, they'll either see like doves or butterflies. It seems to be reoccurring theme, and I know that you've got butterflies on the front of your book. So is there a prophecy or an explanation behind that that you can shed some light on?
There is a belief that when someone passes, they will. Look, when Trude's mum passed, when she passed away, I went outside and I said out loud, "You're not here anymore. You're not on this plane with us anymore. But I'd love to know when you visit. I'd love to know who to look for. Like, I want to know when I look outside and I see you, I recognise you as being Trude's mum. You know." So we'd never had blue wrens on our property before. Not that we'd ever seen, and we'd been there for quite a few years. And when I asked that, a couple of days later, we had a little flock of blue wrens. There was 2 boys and about 8 girls, and they just took up residence. And then they were there for about a week, and then they disappeared again. And then the kids were talking about their grandmother, and there they were. So, you know, we'll have a Joy Day, like her name was Joy, or her name is Joy, and we'll go to the shops or whatever, and there'll be mugs with blue wrens on them and tea towels with blue wrens on them. Or we all have that connection to the spirit world, and these animals, we all have one that's personal to us. So you will get visited by your loved one in that form. It's not that they're in that little bird's body or that little rat's body or that squirrel's body. They're not in there, but it's like they get this strong urge to visit you. They just know that's important.
I know that whenever I see a blue wren, I think of Joy straight away. And I always message you like, "Hey, she's thinking of you. She sent me this message."
She walks up and on the Facebook or some of the pictures of, like, there's all these blue wrens for no reason. Then you got to stop and think about that and what could that possibly mean. So. Yeah, and you have sent me pictures of blue wrens, and it's often been when we have been talking about her as well. So we often have that crossover.
Yeah, I get it. And I always find that I'll get her, like, some weeks I'll get blue wren after blue wren after blue wren, and I've almost messaged you saying I need to read for you because there's something that you need to hear, because it's just constantly.
There most likely is.
Yeah,
always had something.
Like Birds of Oz, they'll have a blue wren, and then something else will be a blue wren. I'm like, okay, something's going on, and so I'll always message it through this, but it's really cool. What else can I say? All right, I just like, everybody's just talking about animals, and just how some people say that Francis is talking about here that they had a horse called Annie, and they couldn't put another horse in the stall. So I guess we were talking a little bit earlier about residual energy in houses. Would that be something similar?
Definitely, because the horse, just like when we sometimes cross over, we don't realize immediately that we have crossed over. No different to animals. So who's to say that the horse wasn't ready to leave? If the horse wasn't used to sharing a stable before it passed, what makes you think it's going to want to share the stable after it's passed? But the horse would have realized. The horse would have realized that it wasn't so connected to that part of its life anymore, and it would have eventually faded, but still gone back to the same places that we go back to. There's no difference in my mind, but yeah, the fact that horse wouldn't go into the stables because it was already occupied.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So it's like we were had a friend who was passing over, and all the family was in this little waiting room area while the nurses were in with our friend. And there was a couch, and there was it's a long story, but there was a guy on the couch, and there was a blank seat, and all these people milling about, and like they could have sat down, but they didn't. And Oscar, he was only about 3 at the time, and he marches into that room because he knew something was going on. We didn't know what it was.
I just seen him marching in the way he marches in.
He walked in like this, and he was like, "What?" And he said, two dads. And he was like pointing at the guy who was sitting there saying, "One dad." Then he pointed to the empty spot and said, two dads. And he goes like, and he just walked out, and everyone was like, "Fucking hell, what's going on?" But no one sat down because there was already someone sitting there, and it was, we believe, the grandfather.
Just quickly, I know that you're busy, and I know that you've got heaps to do. This is my favorite book, okay? And everybody knows on the show that this is my favorite book. And I send this out to people that I do readings for. What inspires you to do this? Because it's nothing to do with animals, and it's it's totally different genre for you. And I really feel that this is the best book on transition that I've read, and I will continue saying that. So I'm a big advocate of it, and everybody that watches the show does too. So what made you write this book?
Well, so there's nothing to do with animals. It's nothing to do with animals. Well, it's because of that, the story how that book starts. There's a little story And that's what put me on the path to working with the animals. So it is all about the animals, but just in a different from a different direction. That book, I had to write it because it's a story, but it's also a journey that I was shown. Okay, so the story is based on two boys that were killed in a car accident, and that's how the book starts and how that put me on my path. But they made this pact with me. They came to me in a dream, and they made this pact that they would, keep watch, and they'd keep guiding me, and they would visit me often. And every time they came through in the dreams, I was always in the same setting, and they would come through and they would just tell me things about life and tell me, because I'd ask them questions. I'd ask the questions like, so where have you been? Like all this time, where have you been? Like, what have you been doing? And they would tell me stuff. And I'd wake in the morning and it wasn't a real, because I have dreams all the time, but it's very hard for me to remember my dreams. But these dreams were so clear that after all these years later, I can still see them very, very clearly, because they were more like visits. They were more like we were meeting in between the worlds, and they were telling me stuff. And I know that I was there for quite some time, but I'd still wake up at the same time in the morning, because their time and our time are so different. But while I was there, they told me all this stuff. And I started to realize that they were teaching me something that I couldn't possibly know about. Because I'm not like you. I'm not a medium. I mean, I do mediumship, but I'm not, God, I don't know how you do it. Sit there day after day after day talking to dead people. That just freaks me out. But lots
of medication and psychiatric appointments. No.
Well, it helps. Obviously, it works. But so I knew that this was something that needed to be shared, and that they even told me what to look for so that I would know when the visits would end. And I haven't had that sign shown to me yet, so I'm assuming they've still got more to tell me. They've just not visited in a little while. But I would be. So that book really, I had to share what they taught me. I had to share, because what was the point? What was the point? Yeah. What if the point of them passing was that I wrote that book? That thought haunted me, no pun intended, but I couldn't get it out of my head. I couldn't stop thinking that, so I had to honour it. That was good, wasn't it?
That was really good, yeah. Yeah. That's like me and my sick joke of what do you call a dead medium?
I don't know.
Unemployed.
Beck, I knew it would have some. That's a dad joke. That's
you're a dad? Say.
Right.
Bad jokes. All right, Mr. King, what's on the agenda for you next? Like, what can people expect from you next?
Well, I have got an online course which I'm going to relaunch, so that's going to be that's something. I am writing a few projects at the moment, slowly, because
I don't suppose you're writing that deck of cards that you said you've been going to be writing for years and years and years, by any chance?
Which ones are they, Beck? Don't say that loud.
The ones that have to do with the really big boat.
Yes, well, that's yes, they are. I am working on with an artist on those as we speak. Believe it or not. So I've got those ones. There's about 4 decks of cards that I'm writing. I've got my Mythical Creatures book that I'm still writing. There's a few things in the pipeline. There's some exciting things in the pipeline.
Sounds good.
But I'm not going to tell you what they are. Otherwise, what's the point in having a pipeline?
You can't tell me on live anyway, but I'll ask you later. But for those of you that haven't read Scott's stuff, I've got the website up again. You can order any of his books, any of his cards through that link, animaldreamingpublish.com. Get on there. Everything that we spoke about tonight, from the publications to the retreats to the workshops to, being a published author, absolutely everything.
Everything.
What? Oh, reading.
They're all on there, yep.
Everything's on there. So I'm going to let him go because I know he's really busy. And I just want to say thank you so much for joining the banter. It's been awesome to have you on here. And, you know, I love you lots. And, you know, I think that, you know, what you put out into the world is an inspiration for everybody. And, you know, I hope that you're out there for a long time to come. And I can't wait to see Trudy. All right, I'm going to let you go. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, love you heaps, and we'll chat
love
soon.
You, bye.
See you, bye.
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 Oops. All right. Well, there you go, guys. That is Scott Alexander King. And if any of you want to order any of his stuff, you can jump online and you can order all of his stuff through the link. And I'll post it up after the banter as well so that you can actually have a look up there. So, yeah. Now, I can't see any comments coming through, so I don't know why. But I'm going to have to go off my phone to see them. So let's have a look here. Where am I seeing comments? Must be the stream. Okay. I'm going to go back on here. So does anybody have any questions that they want to know? So tonight, I'm going to be actually using some of Scott's cards, and we'll see what we can come up with, so some questions and some answers. So I hope you enjoyed that. He's an incredible guy, and, you know, just had some absolutely amazing influence, and I love him to bits. And you asked for him, and there he is. So yeah, bam. Hey Belinda, how are you? Okay. Hi David, how are you? See that my new type in? I have to show it to you. It's so cool. Look at this. Look at those scissors. Now, I can only see comments coming through on my phone, so I have to go from there. You like my phone? You like my clip? I love it too. All right. So let's have a look. Scott is amazing, isn't he? You love my hair? I'm growing. I cut it today, and yeah, it was an event. It was so cool. Yeah, I'm getting the blonde done, but hey, well, you know, I had some help clipping my hair today, and I'm just going to tell you all that, you know, she kind of took a chunk out the back of my hair, and I had to fix it. So, yeah. What was I going to say to you? Melissa Carlson, Indigo Kids and Cheeky Monkeys is the name of the book that all that information was put in. Indigo Kids and Cheeky Monkeys. Indigo Kids and Cheeky Monkeys. Yeah, that's what it is, with Scott Alexander King and Ralph Ballard, Dr. Ralph Ballard. So just going to wait for the energy to settle. Guys, if you're on, say hi to me so I can see that you're actually on there. Share the page, share the message. Right. Do you know what I'm going to do today, guys? I am going to give away a copy of this book. Okay, a copy of this book. So I'm watching your comments, and before the end of the show, I want people to share the page and like the page, and you know, tell me. Let me see. What can I give you? A question. Hey JJ, I want to know, guys, some of your afterlife experiences. Have you had visitations from your loved ones? You know, what stories do you have that are relative to the afterlife and everything going on? So I'm gonna give away a free copy of this book, okay? Scott Alexander King's Afterworld, and let me tell you, it's absolutely incredible. Okay, absolutely incredible book. I love it. I know you're going to love it. And so I want to hear I want to hear some stories about loved ones that have passed over, and I'm going to choose somebody, okay, to receive this book. Okay, JJ. All right, let me have a look here. I need. Do you know what? I've got I actually have a shirt on tonight that that has French cuffs, but I've got them rolled up at the minute. But yeah, I love my tie pin. My darling gave it to me the other day. Let me have a look. You had your uncle's face come to you in your dreams. Yeah, okay. All right, guys, I'm going to jump in here. I want to say Chelsea. I've got the word Chelsea, so it's either Chelsea or relative to somebody called Chelsea. I want to and I also want to shout out to Raya, okay? I want to send some love to Raya and just say, hey, I don't know if she's watching or not, but the other day she was taking me off doing the banter, and I've never laughed so hard in my life. Like, this kid is just got the most incredible sense of humor, and I swear I broke 3 ribs just laughing at her taking me off. So one day I'm going to put her on the banter, and I'm going to get her to take me off and do the readings for you, because she's just awesome. Let's have a look. My best friend passed suddenly, and I didn't get to say goodbye. A few months later, she came to me in my dreams, and we oh my god. All right, so I'm having the biggest brain fart moment here, guys. So I have had to put my phone up so I can see your comments, but I'm trying to use my mouse on my computer to move my phone. Anyway, Melissa Carlson, my best friend passed suddenly, and I didn't get to say goodbye. A few months later, she came to me in my dreams, and we said our goodbyes, and then she said, oh, it's gone. Where's it gone? And then she said, watch this, and transformed into a white light. Oh, that's so cool. Okay. All right, so I will choose somebody, or I'll get Bec to choose somebody towards the end of tonight to receive this book. But I do want to talk about Chelsea, guys. I'm hearing the word Chelsea, and I don't know whether I need to talk to a Chelsea, or whether I have a Chelsea in spirit, or somebody lives in Chelsea. But I know that Chelsea's the link, okay? I know that Chelsea's the link here. Okay, I'm going to shuffle some cards. So I'm going to use Scott's Nature Wisdom cards when I do some readings, but I feel like I have a Chelsea. I need to talk about Chelsea. Who's got Chelsea? Has anyone got a daughter called Chelsea? And I'm seeing that, you know, that game is it croquet? Where you hit the balls through those hoopy things. Okay, Melissa Carlson, your cousin is Chelsea, and it's her dad's anniversary today. Okay, all right, and because I keep hearing I want to talk to Chelsea. I keep getting, you know, Chelsea. Okay, Mel, would it be right to say that this gentleman was quite poorly, quite sickly? So I know that he passed away from a cancer-related illness. I feel like he had a little bit more time though, so I feel like he exited quite quickly, and whatever he had was quite aggressive. He is a little bit frustrated at not being able to say goodbye or say his goodbyes as well. And I feel like I've got some sort of breathing thing up my nose, if that makes sense. And I know that you know, I had oxygen at the time of my passing as well, or there's something to do with the nose place there, if that makes sense. I've got a lot of pressure in my stomach though as well. While I'm shuffling, guys, and while I'm bringing all these cards and everything, and just letting the energy settle a little bit from that incredible interview with Scott Alexander King, I just want to talk briefly about a platform show that I've got coming up with Geordie James on the 10th of this month. It is advertised on my Facebook page and available through Eventbrite. It's $30 for the night. It's a platform show, so it is working only with spirit. There's no card readings or anything like that, and you know, it is definitely you know, going to be an amazing show. So yeah, look, I do feel like I've got a guy here, and I feel like I have to talk about Chelsea, and I feel like I've got cancer-related illness, but I feel like I've also got oxygen up my nose as well, so I don't think I can breathe. So it could have possibly been, you know, a lung cancer, abdominal cancer, something along those lines. I'm also hearing the word Darren or D-A, something like that. So there's a couple of you that are placing a Chelsea. Can you put a Darren or DA initial alongside that as well? Can you do that? And I'm feeling as if I want to make it relative to a Commodore car. Okay, a Commodore car. So I have to place that, guys. So can anyone place that? I can't bring the questions up on the thing because it's not working, guys. So I'm so sorry. You're welcome, Nikki. Thank you so much. I cut it today. It's always hard when you've got to cut your own hair, but because of COVID, yeah, I just cut it. So it's a little, it's getting there. It's getting long again, which is where I want it to be, and which is really good. I had some help with my hair today. All right, so a couple of you I'm waiting to get back about Chelsea, but anyway, so I think I just dropped a card. Todd, how many of you are new tonight, guys? Is anybody new? Is anybody first on? Come on. Hello, may I ask, what does my crush Patrice feel for me? Trod Jacob, I'm feeling confused about that one. I'm just feeling as if there's up and downs in regards to that. Okay, I feel like I'm a little bit all over the place with that one. I don't feel like I can you know, get a grip on it, if that makes sense. So yeah, I feel like it's undecided. I feel it like he's questioning. So yeah, look at all you guys that are new. How you all going? Hi, Paula, Katie, how are you going? Chris, Charlton, how are you? Vicky, look at you all. Hey, guys. Where are you all from? Linda is saying they're Bew. Are you using StreamYard? There's a link to which people can click for you to be able to see their comments. I am using StreamYard, but for some reason I can't see the comments, which is, I don't know why. Just having a look to see if I can fix it. Yeah, I don't know why the comments aren't coming up. It's weird. Because I can see the comments coming on the phone, but I can't see them coming on here. So I don't know why. It's really weird. I don't know. Maybe it's spirit. No idea. All I know is that, you know, they're definitely not coming through. That's okay. I can see you guys here on the I can see you on the camera anyway. Larry Warren South, people from Berwick. How are you all going? All right, so guys, I do need to finish. I need to talk about Chelsea. Okay, because I do feel that I've got a gentleman here, and I feel like I need to talk knowledge about Chelsea. And a couple of you said it before, so he's still standing here. So I'm just going to put him to the side. I know that he passed from a cancer-related illness, and I'm really feeling as if, you know, that there's a connection here with cancer, or it's related to cancer. And also, I got a Commodore as well, so I don't know. You know, if this person had a Commodore or passed in a Commodore or something like that. It's really crazy. Oz is right. I love all the Melbourne folks who are new because we can't go out and play. It's really cool. All right, guys. So let me have a look. Let me see who I'm going to go. Don't forget, I want your stories up there because I'm going to pick somebody to receive that book. Okay. I'm going to receive somebody to have that book. Guys, I know that it's only short reading time tonight because we had Scott on the show, but if any of you do want readings from your loved ones, it's a lot more intense and a lot more information is given when you actually book in for a reading. And I do have some readings available during the week. We have a couple of different prices, so jump online at office.ozpsychicbarber@gmail.com, and I'm more than happy to read for you one-on-one, which is really cool. Susanna Matthews, I feel like I'm drawn to you, so I'm going to pull a card for you. Susanna. Okay, Susanna, your card is eggshells, okay? Eggshells. See that? There you go, eggshells. Scott's got on the back of his cards, a new beginning, possibilities are assumed to be healthy but are as yet unconfirmed. A step forward has been witnessed by spirit. You initiate trust being acknowledged, and educated risk has been taken. Although fragile, you are ready now to birth any new idea. Whenever I see this, I'm really feeling as if you know, it's like what comes first, the chicken or the egg? If that's you know, remember that saying, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? And I feel as if, you know, you're being chasing around your tail and you're not quite sure where something begins and not quite sure where something ends. But you know, it is very much about birthing, you know, new ideas and concepts and things like that. I also have to bring in fertility and abundance also, because I'm just feeling as if, you know, when you actually stop chasing yourself around and around in circles, and I just really feel as if I want to just say to you, stop and pause and allow that abundance to come through. You know, there's a lot of fertility near and around you, but I'm just feeling self-doubt. And so I just want to say to you, stop, Lisa, stop it there, because, you know, I know that there are some amazing things coming forward for you, because I can actually see it in the energy. But you have to actually birth those new ideas. You know, you've got to create them. It's like an embryo. It has to be nurtured, grown, loved, supported, and then, you know, you have your kid and then you bring it into the world and off you go. The same thing applies when you're actually birthing new ideas and new concepts. So you know, just don't get it out of your head and into your heart space, and then you'll find that we'll actually move forward in the ground and the path that you're walking. So I hope that helps, and I hope that, you know, that's all relative. Lisa Anderson, I just caught the end of your reading saying that your grandfather passed with lung cancer, and that's Chelsea, and I feel like that's who I'm actually wanting to connect to. Okay, I'm feeling as if there could be a possibly birthday or a passing date coming there as well. So I have to acknowledge that with you. I'm also seeing like pressure around the head as well. So I don't know whether somebody near or around you has actually passed with a stroke, or he's got pressure in the head, or there's an aneurysm or something along those lines. But I'm feeling like he wants to just acknowledge that there's pressure in somebody's head, if that makes sense. Lisa, I also have to be I have to talk to you about a split decision coming up as well. And I do feel as it involved in either working with somebody in aged care or putting somebody in aged care, or something around aged care. I have to mention aged care for some reason. So if you can play that, just let me know. Okay, just let me know. But I have to say that there's something there. Guys, I can see your messages. I'm not going to jump in when I'm reading for somebody and say hey to everybody, but I am seeing your messages. And I just want you to know that if I'm drawn to you, then I certainly will pull a card, or I certainly will, acknowledge, what it is you're actually seeking. So please don't think I'm being ignorant, or that I'm missing you, because I am actually watching, I'm seeing it. And I just want you to know that I'm actually reading for somebody else at the present time, and that's where my focus needs to be. So keep asking your questions, and don't get too scared. So Mel, you're still thinking it's your granddad? Okay. Lisa Anderson, are you still on? Because I need to confirm whether you can place any of the information I just gave across. I'm also getting the name Tony, and I feel like it's a relative to a son, Tony or Anthony or something like that. I have to talk about. So Mel, I don't know whether you can place a Tony, or Lisa, can you place a Tony? I feel I'm with one of you guys. I might even have a double link here. I'm loving the energy of you guys. It's awesome. Lisa Anderson, can you place a Tony? Mel, can you place a Tony? Okay. Sandy Beaumont. Lisa Anderson, you've just gone for a job in aged care. Well done. Okay. Mel, I really think I'm with Lisa Anderson at the minute. Lisa, can you place a Tony or an Anthony as well? You can't. Lisa, just hold it. Just hold that, because I feel like I want to play, or the initials with an an A-N in it, like Anthony, but it might be the A and the N or the T taken out of the initials as well. I'm also have to talk about Rose or Rosemary as well, but I don't know whether it's in the name of the plant or whether it's actually a person called Rose. But I have to place that as well. Unless he's actually showing me that he likes baked lamb and rosemary, but I know that that's a reference there. So I really feel that I'm with you, Lisa. I also have to talk about some sort of an eye condition or something to do with the eyes, if that makes sense. And there might even be either surgery had or pending surgery in relative to the eyes as well. So I have to place that. So I don't know whether you can actually place that. But I'm just being guided to. Sometimes when you're reading, they bring forward stuff that hasn't happened yet and you don't know about until you go back and talk to other people, or it might be something that sort of sits in the futuristic timeline, and it'll come forward a little bit later. But he is actually talking about something to do with the eyes as well. And I'm feeling as if there's eye something going on there, but I am confident that's where I am, Lisa, and I really feel that he's also wanting to talk about stuff. Oh my God, look, I think I've got a double link here between Mel and Lisa, so I'm just going to separate the two, because I feel like I've probably got both. Trying not to get a double link on the show, but hey, look, you know what? Sometimes it happens, and sometimes we just can't, just can't separate things. So Lisa, I feel like I do have your grandfather here, and I know that all of those things are relative for you, and I'm also seeing that there's a decision that you are having to make, and I feel it's quite a hard decision, and I feel like that you're sort of like looking at life as if there's no safety net underneath it at the present time. Okay, I'm hearing the word relationship as well, so I don't know whether you're contemplating walking into a relationship or contemplating walking out of a relationship, but I'm seeing that there is that whole safety net question that sort of sits underneath it, if that makes sense. I also have to talk about the closing of a gap in teeth, and I know this sounds really wacky, but this is what they're giving me, and as a medium, you guys know that I certainly don't step in and start to say too much that it doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, look, there you go, you got Aunt Rose there. But I'm feeling as if, I don't know, somebody's got braces and they're talking about whether you're going to get their teeth fixed or a gap closed in their teeth or something like that, because it doesn't make any sense to me. It's not relative to me, so I have no idea what it's about. But I'm really feeling as if this is your granddad, and he's talking about making peace, Lisa, because I'm seeing the Native American peace pike. And I'm just feeling as if, you need to sort of like make peace, but I feel like it's not with other people. It's actually within yourself. Okay. I feel like you need to make sense with, or you need to make peace within self. Okay. Because I'm just getting that, there's some big decisions coming up and you need to be really balanced in the application of them. Okay. So that's what I'm getting in regards to your loved one in spirit at the present time. Okay. I also have to talk about a watch being stopped. Okay. And this is a really strong point. Sometime when I'm reading spirit, you'll get a message and then they'll be really forceful with some things. And this is one of those occasions where they're really forceful with, the watch is being stopped. Okay. And I'm feeling as if I want to say to you, it's time that it stopped. It's time that it stopped. So, Lisa, I know that this is all going to be really relative to you. It's time that it stops. I'm feeling I want to put the word relationship in there somewhere. And I also feel as if, there's movement or progress, or there's a choice that's coming up. And you're questioning, the safety net that actually sits beneath you. Okay. Sometimes we hear songs in our, we get songs in our heads as well. And that song, oranges and lemons, the bells of St. Clements. Okay. And I always, I look up stuff like that, and I know it's relative to different church bells going off in London. Okay. And I'm feeling as if I want to say the bells are ringing. Okay. The bells are ringing. It's like whenever they get married, the bells ring. Whenever there's a funeral, the bells ring. And I feel like they're really trying to get your attention here. And I'm just saying that, it's about time that decisions got made. You can't sit there dallying around with choice anymore. If it's coming to a point where you're going to have to make a decision, you're going to have to go down one road in your life. And, this is what he's saying. It's all relative to a period coming up. It might just be at the beginning of it, or you're questioning it, but whatever's coming forward, there's a clear path that has to be made. And, I'm just being guided to say to you that, you will question, just what direction you're going to go in, if that makes sense. So I'm going to leave that with you, Lisa. And I know that that's really relative. All right. Has anybody had a visit from their loved one? Has anybody had a visit from their loved one? I have. Just reading some of your messages, guys. All right, so let's have a look here. Lena, how are you going? Marianne Evans, how are you going? Hi, Nikki Nikki Marie. All right, let's pull a card for Nikki. What are we going to go with? Let's have a look. Let's get Scott's animal cards. Okay, now there's 90-something cards here, and I have to shuffle them. I have to shuffle them in 2 lots, so just bear with me because there's like heaps there. Does that make sense, Lisa? Oh, look at that. Nikki jumped out. Okay, wallaby. All right. So the wallaby is talking about progression. All right, progression. And I feel as if you've been at a standstill, Carrie, for Nikki, for some time. And what I'm just being guided to say from the wallaby is that, you know, things will start to move forward. For a lot of people during this COVID stage, you know, there's been a lot of fallback. A lot of businesses have lost, and people have sort of paused things, if that makes sense. And so I'm just wanting to say to you that, you know, progression is about moving forward. Nikki, what I'm seeing for you is a release and surrender. Okay, I'm seeing you throwing the arms in the air, and I'm seeing you just go, you know what, stuff it. I'm just going to do what I need to do and get on with life. I also feel too, Nikki, that there will be people that will fall into the past with you, okay? So, you know, it might be, you might have had a falling out, and you might be sort of like, you know, having some arguments and things like that. But I feel as if you're going to be leaving that energy behind and stepping up, if that makes sense. Okay, stepping up. I also too feel that somebody near and around you has been inhibiting you, or actually keeping you down, or keeping you stagnant is the word I actually want to use. So it's about keeping you stagnant. And so you know, what I'm actually wanting to say to you is, like, shake off that energy and actually, you know, move forward and push forward. What else can I see? Just bear with me for 2 seconds as well. I'm feeling too also, Nikki, that you know, as I'm having a look at the auric field that's near around you, what I'm actually seeing is just a slight imbalance in your energy. So I don't know whether, I'm not a medical doctor or anything like that, but I don't know whether your iron's out or your potassium's low or something along those lines. I'm just feeling really lethargic and tired, and let me a B vitamin or something like that. I just feel as if you're just that little bit flat, okay, just that little bit flat, and I just want to perk you up a little bit. So maybe some, you know, green leafy stuff, or just get things checked. You know, it never hurts to go and get things checked. Again, I'm not a medical doctor. Don't think it's anything serious, but I just get that, you know, you just worn out, if that makes sense. Your mind is going over and over and over, chitter chatter, and you know, I'm just feeling as if you sort of like just need to have that perky up before you actually move forward. It's almost like you're setting yourself up for the next step that you're moving for. All right, let me have a look now. So I'm using Scott's cards tonight. I'm reading all your messages. Love a message from your loved one. Jackie O'Sullivan. Hi, Lena. As I'm shuffling, I'm just checking to see if there's anybody there. So just bear with me. Guys, I can see, hi Vanessa, how are you, babe? I can see your messages coming up, guys. So you don't need to keep messaging and messaging and messaging, because I can actually see all your messages that are coming up. I am going where I'm guided to go with spirit, so don't stress, and we'll see where things land. You're welcome, Nikki. My pleasure. My pleasure. Does it make sense for you? Frankie, how are you? Guys, if you want to book a reading with me, it's what is it? I've got to see it as it comes across now. office.ozpsychicbarber@gmail.com, and I can actually do some readings for you one-on-one. I'm a bit concerned my mum isn't. What's that message? Hang on a minute. Katie Oakley, a little bit concerned my mum isn't where she should be due to the nature of her passing. Hope she or dad comes through for you. Katie Oakley, let's have a look. Katie, I do feel as if your mum is where she's supposed to be, but I don't know whether there was some confusion in regards to her burial or in regards to her final wishes being carried out. Okay, I just feel like there might be a little bit of turmoil sitting there, Katie. Lena, yes, I'm a barber. I am a barber. I did cut my own hair today. I had the help of my my beautiful girlfriend. But yeah. Yeah, look, Katie, I feel as if mum is where she needs to be. You know, of course, when they pass over into spirit, they go where they are, where they're meant to be, and that's, you know, it's a part of their higher self and a part of their journey. That makes sense. And I really do feel that you know, her transition was easy and that it was actually where it was supposed to go. But I'm just feeling like was there something to do with her will that was a little bit weird or weirded out, if that makes sense. You know, I'm just feeling as if something she wanted or something she needed hasn't been fully carried out, or words have been, you know, misconstrued or something along those lines. Who's Anne, Katie? Who's Anne? Can you place that for me? Whether it's a Suzanne or an Anne or something along those lines. Jackie O'Sullivan, I go where spirit draws me to, sweetheart. And so just bear with me. I'm not going through a list as per. So just hold on, because I was drawn to go in here with Katie. Katie, what are you placing a yes to? Oh, okay. Yeah, I just feel like it's just that's what she's that's what she's concerned about. That's what she's going on about. You know, that's that sort of stuff. And you've got a Suzanne, which is your aunt, dad's sister. Okay, all right. And would it make sense then that has she been going through some health issues of her own, Katie? Has she been going through some health issues of her own? I'm being asked to talk about the breast cancer connection. Okay, the breast cancer connection. I've got your mum, you know, showing me the chest area, the breast cancer connection, and I feel really tired. And so I don't know whether that's how mum passed over, if it was a breast-related issue, or whether there was something there. But I have to place that. I feel really fun with your mum. I feel like she had, you know, such a fun energy about her. Okay. Katie, what's that? Yes, but not sure of the details. Okay. Mum's mom died of breastfeeding cancer. What's breastfeeding cancer? Okay. All right. So I think she's with your mum. I think she's with your mum, okay? Katie, I really do feel as if she's with your mum. Katie, the passing of your mother, that's recent. Does that make sense for you? Oh, okay. Not breast. So it's breast cancer, not breastfeeding cancer. Oh my God, I'm thinking, is that some like new thing that I don't know about that's connected to the milk ducts or something? So yeah, anyway, I do feel as I do feel like I have your mum, and I feel as if her passing either wasn't that far away, like it wasn't that long ago, or whether there's an anniversary coming up that brings her forward, if that makes sense. And so I just have to acknowledge that it's either like an anniversary or something recent has come up that would bring your mum forward, if that makes sense. Apart from the banter, if that's relative. So I have to acknowledge that. I'm also seeing something with lemons on it, and I don't know whether it's a tablecloth or a tea towel or something like that, or a dress. I know there's weirder things, but what's the connection to lemons, Katie, please? I don't know if there's like a big lemon tree in the yard, or I'm not quite sure what it is. Okay. Hey, I just need to say, Katie, that your mum is with you. Look, she's very peaceful. She's talking about you, not getting too involved with, the whole money side of things. I feel like, you just need to get along and just, let it go. You can't control things. Grandma's lemon trees. Yeah, because it's like lemons. I can just see lemons, and I just feel like there's lemon stuff around there. I do feel that your mum went over to your grandmother, okay? Because as I said with Scott earlier on, quite often people will come for their loved ones when they're at a time of passing. So I do feel your mum went to her mother. I feel like her mother was quite a stronger woman. I see her walking through the veil with like a walking aid or a walking stick or something along those lines. And I want to come to the head with your grandmother as well. So I'm not quite sure whether she passed from a stroke or an aneurysm or something along those lines. But I just feel like, I've just got a little bit of pressure behind my my right eye there. So I'm just going to pass that through. Okay, so I've got your grandmother and your mother here, babe. Your mum is acknowledging what's actually going on. She's not saying not give it too much energy. And she's just saying to you, when it comes down to passing and it comes down to things like that, it's all about greed and who can get what. It's not going to bring her back. It's not going to bring back anything. And she's just saying, hold on to the memories, keep going forward. You did the right thing. Okay, so let them fight it out. And just try and maintain peace in your own environment. You can't control what other people are doing. You can only control what you're doing. And I feel like you're just holding all of that energy at the present time, and it is a bit of a struggle at times. So I just want to say, let that go, and just know that your mum is peaceful. She's where she needs to be, and she is loved, she's respected, and she just wants to pass that across the veil to you. So just going to leave that message there for you. And there's something else that's coming forward as well, is she's saying pick up the study. So I don't know whether you've left the study or you've stopped studying or you've put something to the side, but I have to acknowledge that you need to pick up some study or pick up something that you've left off, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to leave you there. Okay, let's have a look here. Does that make sense, Katie? David, are you still watching? David? Are you still watching, David? Are you there? Melissa, how are you? Okay, guys. Yeah. Just hold on to it, Katie. The main thing is she's acknowledging that she's okay, and you know that she's fine, and that she knows that there's been a bit of a messy situation left, and she's just saying don't get involved in it so too much, if that makes sense. Got Tim and Melanie Oliver, how are you going? Guys, I have to talk about the anniversary of a child passing. The anniversary of a child passing. I feel like I need to talk about that. So somebody watching is either celebrating or is remembering a child passing, an anniversary of a child passing. Okay. I don't know whether it's a 3rd year anniversary of a child passing. I'm seeing the number 3 around this, so I don't know whether somebody lost a child 3 years ago, or whether it's something connected to the number 3. But I have to acknowledge a child passing. Hi, Connie. How are you? Sharon, Manisma, everyone. Sharon Tell is watching. Say hi. Guys, can anybody place a child, a baby or a child that's passed over and it's coming up to an anniversary? We just set up balloons. What's that for, Sandy? Sandy, what are you talking about? Jackie's saying 3 years ago, next month, niece passed away. Okay. Ronit is saying, Sharon, I just got your cards. Woohoo! If anybody saw Sharon's show and want to order some cards, contact her. Sandy Campbell, she passed 6 years ago. What's the balloon, Sandy? I missed that start of the message. I'm like watching it off a phone, so I missed it. I'm sorry. Jackie O'Sullivan. Is there a Beth? A Beth? Elizabeth? A Beth? Who can place that? A Beth or a Beth or a... I feel like it's a Beth. Beth. Elizabeth? Something Beth? Guys, if you're asking for... I'm just having a look, sorry. I can actually see your messages coming through. If please don't think I'm ignoring you. I'm just reading for somebody at the present time, and I can see things. I can see that messages are coming through. I have to talk about a child's passing anniversary, and I also have to talk about the number 3. So whether it was 3 years ago or the child was 3 when they actually passed over. But I also feel as if I have to talk about an Elizabeth or a Beth as well. So can anybody watching place any of those three things? Okay. I know that somebody's got them, guys, okay? I know that somebody's got it. There's a relevance of Elizabeth or a Beth, okay? There's a connection to number 3. So either 3 years ago or the child was 3 when they actually passed over. I also have to talk about I'm seeing one of those those musical things that you pull down and the music comes out. Do you know them? And I feel as if this child stopped breathing. So I don't know whether that was a respiratory problem. Guys, I need some specific answers, please. Everybody's got a bit in. I need to know all of these things are relative. Yeah. Sorry, Ted. That's not what I'm looking for. I have to connect to Elizabeth, either the name of the child or Beth, connecting there, either in the parent or in the actual child. I have to talk about the number 3. So the child either passed 3 years ago or was 3 when they actually passed over. And I feel like I'm celebrating an anniversary that's either coming up or has just been, if that makes sense. But I'm just feeling as if I can't breathe, or there's been something with the respiratory with this child. I also have to talk about a Stan or a Van or something like that. Stan or Van. Stan, Van. Stan, Van. And I'm also seeing a dachshund dog. Jackie O'Sullivan, can you make reference to a dachshund dog? A little bit slow because I'm waiting for the messages to come through. Okay, I'm seeing a dachshund dog. I have got the number 3. I have to talk about a Van or Stan or something like that. I feel like there's an Elizabeth connection there. I know that somebody here can place this message, guys. Please, can anybody place it? And I'm hearing the word Val. Okay, I don't think it's Van, it's Val, like Valerie or something along those lines. Val something. Does that make sense? Yeah, Kellyanne, it's not that. You have a bull Arab and a greyhound. All right. Okay. All right. Well, while I'm waiting for you guys to get some more information, and while I get some more information, I'm gonna pull some cards. Okay. and see what we can get from some other people. So that the Kellyanne, yesterday was the 3rd. Kellyanne, what have you got? What have you got? Can you place? Okay, I know that there's an Elizabeth. I have to connect to the number 3, so it's either like a third birthday or 3rd anniversary. I see a dachshund dog. I feel like Van or Dan or Stan or something like that. Something AN is sitting there as well. I've got a spirit here. Taz, yes, you will be happy once you actually once you sort of lift and step away from that depression. I also feel that where you're living at the present time is not the right place for you. So I don't know whether it's dark or damp or something along those lines, but I'm just feeling as if I want to move out of where I am and get some sunlight on my face. So I'm just feeling really depressed where you are. Jacinta, how are you going? I can't place anything. Okay. Not Tracy. All right. I know it's going to play, so I'm just going to sit there. Jacinta, I'm going to pull a card for you. I feel drawn to you. Okay. Stephen. How is everybody? Where are you all from? I'm seeing all your messages coming through. Lachlan, how you going? Hi, Matt. Bit of male energy is always great. Love it. All right, Jacinta, I feel like I need to draw a card for you. The card I'm pulling is Antler for you, okay? And the card I want to say is listen to your higher self, all right? Your intuition is strong, your higher vision is clear, and clarity is yours. Okay, you may not be as strong as your intuition may not be as strong as it normally is. Be still and just trust. Be silent and wait, and it will all be worth it. You're abundant, you're fertile. Don't let ego rule fear for losing the light. So what I'm actually seeing here for you guys, or sorry for you, is Jacinta, is that, you know, whenever I see antler or deer, it's about gentleness. It's about sitting quietly, okay? I feel as if your mind's tired, your body's tired, and I'm just feeling as if, you know, you need to just pause a little bit and balance things out. You know, there's so much that's been going on near and around, and, you know, for you, I think that choices and making choices is really relative and really important, really relevant and really important, okay? What I'm seeing for you is like there's so many options that are coming up, and I want to talk about prioritizing things. I feel like I want to prioritize, and you know, I feel like I need to just pace myself is the word that I'm getting given for you. So pace yourself, babe. Okay, you know, because there is so much going on. There's a lot of downloads that are coming for you, a lot of information's coming for you. It's almost like an aha moment where you're waking up and realizing that things, you know, haven't been right for you in some time, and now you're sort of like looking at, where do I need to go, what do I need to do, where do I need to be, and all of that sort of stuff. But don't run around in circles and overthink things, okay? Just let it flow normally. Your higher vision is clear and clarity is yours. So I'm just, yeah, it's letting me know that you're abundant, okay? You do have fertility near and around you, and I don't mean that you're going to get pregnant or anything like that. It means about fertility in life, so blessings and abundance, if that makes sense. And, you know, but don't get too much caught in cockiness and ego and things like that. Just be humble, and the rest will flow normally. The rest will flow peacefully and easily, if that makes sense. Lena, Melbourne locked downtown. I'm in Melbourne too. Alexandra Ricky, how are you going? All right, can anybody place that spirit I've got sitting here? There's a connection to number 3, either 3 years ago passing, or the child passed when they were 3. I have to talk about the name Beth or Elizabeth, and I feel like I need a Van or a Van, Dan or Stan or something like that, a male in spirit. I feel like this could have been a grandfather figure for this child, but I'm wanting to connect to a child, if that makes sense, and that's where I'm wanting to go on this. I just dropped the card. Of course I did. Where'd it go? Oop, I have no idea. Keeping busy, light working. Marianne Evans, my father's name is Jan. Okay. Nobody can place that yet? Oh, come on, guys. For those of you that want to see me live and want to see my platform show, I've got one on the 10th of this month with Psychic Medium Geordie Janes, and you can get on my Facebook page, the Australian Psychic Barber. There's a link on there that will take you to the ticketing agency, and for $30 you can get a ticket and join us on the 10th via Zoom in the comfort of your own house, so you can have your own popcorn and chockies and whatever you want, your blankets, and sit back and spend a beautiful evening with us in spirit. The Maine Coon's asleep. Catty cat, how are you, babe? Oh, Anna, you're getting a Maine Coon baby. Oh my gosh, you're in for a treat. Crazy vibes in Melbourne. How you going? You need to share your pictures of the Maine Coon, so that's really awesome. Catty cat, okay, babe. I'm feeling a tiredness with you. Okay, I'm just gonna jump in on a psychic level here and just have a look at what's actually going on. I do feel tired, and I do feel like you're juggling things a little bit too fast at the present time. So I just want to slow things down. And I'm feeling too also that there's going to be a time where you're having to ask too many questions, or you're going to have to ask questions about what's going on, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm feeling exhausted. What are you asking me? Another child, is it with Mitch? Thank you. Kanika, I don't feel like there's a child on the agenda for you right now, okay? But keep in mind, we are working with spirit, and that can change at any time. But at the moment where I'm looking, I don't feel like that's in your energy. I do want to bring the energy back to you. I feel as if you need to work on yourself and spend some time healing there. I do see a couple of shards in your heart space as well. So I know that hurt is sitting there, but I also see some black obsidian floating around through you as well. So I have to acknowledge that you've been hurt and that you're protecting yourself. There are walls up, and I'm just wanting to say to you, just relax a little bit. I'm just feeling as if I want to put it all into me and work on me for the moment. That doesn't mean you won't have a child. It just means that where things are at the present moment, that's not going to happen in the near future. If things are going to stay the same, if that makes sense. It's not going to happen in the near future, if things continue to go down the path in which I see them, if that makes sense, okay? But just keep in mind, Kat, that, you are the master of your destination. You can change anything that you want to, of course. Apart from your life lessons, you're going to have to keep repeating them. But, eventually you'll get them and you move on from them. But I'm just feeling at the moment that, you know, a child isn't going to be the best thing for you. I think you need to work on yourself first, sweetheart. Alicia, I'd love to know if my daughter will get through her PTSD. I feel like that's a long journey, Alicia. I think that she has suffered greatly, and you know, whilst it will come in ebbs and flows, I'm just feeling as if, you know, love and support, and just let her go at her own pace. Don't push her in any way, and I'm just feeling as if, you know, that's something that might be there forever. And it might appear to be gone, but people suffering post-traumatic stress, you know, there's always that trigger, and you know, there's always that possibility of them relapsing into that trauma. So yeah, it's just about being being gentle, and it's just about, you know, supporting them and being supportive of them. A lot of times people that suffer post-traumatic stress, you know, they will actually have to you know, just deal with it themselves. They retreat into their own energy, and, you know, as much as you want to from an external source try and understand what they're going through, sometimes you just have to hold the energy in the space and just give them that time to heal and get through what they need to get through, if that makes sense. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Let's have a look here. Lena saying, I need some confirmation, please. What are you wanting confirmation for? Yeah, they never stop. Peggy saying, the world is a crazy, need guidance. I'm being watched over and guided. Am I being watched over and guided by my loving spirits? The answer for that, Peggy, is yes, most definitely. Okay, we always have our guides, we always have our spirits near and around us. And as Scott was talking about tonight, we always have our animals with us as well. You know, we're so protected. The veils between worlds and realms are very, very, very thin. And, you know, we do have those that cross through and walk with us and by our side and hold us up and support us from above. So yes, we're never alone. Okay, sometimes we have a feeling of being alone because they do step back. We have to find our path, but you know, they're only a few steps away from us. They're like our little safety nets, and they guide us on our path as well. So never ever think that you're alone, because you're not. Okay, you always have support, you always have love, and they hear you. So if there's somebody out there, guys, that you're wanting to talk to, just you know, just talk to them. Just talk to them, because they do hear you. Your loved ones in spirit hear you. They know what's going on, and you know, they know where you're at, if that makes sense. So I hope that helps you there. Rebecca Lacey, I need guidance on whether to move or stay where I am. Okay, Rebecca, I'm feeling like I want to say to you, move, babe. I feel like the energy's stagnant. I feel like there's a seesaw effect going on near and around you where you are at the present time, up and down and all over the place. And I feel like I want to bring in some stability, okay, some stability. I don't know whether you're on the ground floor or something, but I feel like you need to move up a level, okay? And that could be spiritually, emotionally, or actually in the physical world. But I do feel like I'm on a second level, or a balcony kind of property or premises. But I am getting that, you know, it's time to move on, that it is time to shift the energy and just, you know, shake it awake, if that makes sense. I feel a bit stagnant with you, and I'm just feeling as if things can't stay the same way. So I don't know whether this is relative to a relationship, or whether it's relative to your life in general, but I'm just feeling like I need to step it up, move it on up, and actually, you know, give life a change, if that makes sense. Learning a lot about ancestors lately, Kate says. Do you think that they help us on our earthly journey? Yeah, look, of course I do. I feel that our ancestors are always with us, and they're always guiding us as well. You know, sometimes we think things, or we have an idea or a concept about things, and sometimes they're put in our head, if that makes sense. You know, whenever I talk to spirits, people say to me, "How do you see spirit?" And the answer that I actually say is like, it's like a little voice in my head. And for a lot of years, I thought I was actually going, you know, schizophrenic or something. And you have this little voice in your head that says, "Hey, here I am." You know, and eventually you realize and work out that it's actually spirit that's talking to you. And so I do feel that, yeah, you know, sometimes ideas, thoughts, and concepts all step into our realm, and you know, it is our loved ones giving us ideas and giving us guidance on, you know, which way to go and how to go about things. So definitely, I really do feel that they're near and around us. Okay, I've still got this spirit here, guys. I need to connect to Elizabeth or Beth. The number 3 is relative as well. I feel like it's either somebody's passing 3 years ago, or they passed when they were 3, at the age of 3. I know that there's a dachshund dog, or a dachshund similar dog, and I have to talk about the name Van Dan or Stan or something along those lines as well. So I don't know whether anybody can place any of that. I lost both. Lisa's saying, I lost both parents in the last 2 years. I'd like to know if they approve and are happy. Lisa, they approve of anything that makes, if they, approval is a human task, okay? Approval is just something that is, that sits on this platform, if that makes sense. When you pass, or when they pass into spirit, there's only unconditional love. There's no questioning love. There's no love that will be judgmental or anything like that. It's just pure unconditional love. And I think that the fact that you're asking, do they approve, I would be looking at, does this fit and does this place for you? You should never have to worry about what other people think. This is your life, this is your choice. You're the one that's going to be responsible for it. You're the one that's going to be responsible for any fallout if something happens. And I think that if we're questioning, does this apply, or is this viable, or is this the right thing by other people, then we need to sort of have a look at ourselves and just sort of take a big step back and look at it from a different angle, and just go, well, who am I? Am I somebody else's puppet, or am I, my own master? So if you're asking, did somebody approve, I'd be certainly questioning, like, do you approve? Because people are mirrors, if that makes sense. And whatever we see in somebody else is how we emotionally feel or relate to ourselves in that mirror of reflection. Alicia would like to know if her mother's passing was on her own hands completely. Hi, Lily. I'm not quite sure what you're actually making reference there to, Alicia, whether you're talking about assisted dying, or whether your mother's taken her own life. I do feel like somebody did know about it, or somebody knew of it, if that makes sense. So I'm not quite sure whether she, people were aware that she was passing or sick or something along those lines. But I feel like, there's a secondary there that, somebody might be talking about or mentioning. I do feel she's peaceful, though, babe. I don't feel like there's any drama there with her passing. I feel like she's really peaceful. 10:29, guys. I'm going to answer 2 more questions, and then I'm going to announce who's going to win this book. Okay, so please share your stories of, have you been visited by spirit, from your loved ones. Inconclusive. Suicide was on her death certificate. Yeah. Look, Alicia, I think that, when the coroner does those type of things, you've got to understand that they see so many deaths every single day, and there are signs and there are signs and there are symbols in regards to death and passing, and dead bodies do talk, believe it or not. And so I would be pretty confident if if that's what they've said, that's actually what's going on, if that makes sense. But I do know she's peaceful, and I can pass that across to you, and that she is loved. You get visits through dreams. Can anybody place their spirit, guys? I don't really want to have to let them go without placing them. I've got somebody here that's wanting to acknowledge an Elizabeth, or the name Beth or Elizabeth, if that makes sense. I have to talk about the number 3, and I feel as if the number 3 is relative to a child's passing. So the child was either age 3 or passed when they were 3 years of age. I have to acknowledge that. I also feel like I have to talk about Dachshund or something like a Dachshund, and then it's like a Van, Dan, or Stan, a name that's connected there too. But I feel like it's a grandfather's name. Can anybody place this? I also have to acknowledge a man smoking a pipe. So I don't know whether you can place a Stan or a Stanley smoking a pipe with a baby that passed at age 3 or 3 years ago. But I have to talk about smoking a pipe. And I feel like this is a grandfather wanting to reach out. Melanie, what are you saying? Guys, if you've just joined me, I'm about to finish up for the night. My next live reading is coming up on Wednesday at 12 o'clock, okay? Sarah, what are you actually writing there? Recent death due to a car accident. So hard when you're looking on like a tiny little screen and you can't actually see the comments. Oh, here they come now. Wow, that's really bizarre, guys. The comments have just started coming through now. How bizarre. Actually, no, some of them are coming through and some of them aren't coming through. That's really bizarre. Your stepfather passed away. Wow, Oz, that's cool. Oz, look at that. I was just saying. Had to fall down the steps, felt like you were pushed toward the other side, and my partner told me it wasn't my time, so I came to my son saying, I thought you were dead, Mom. No, dear, you're welcome. Melanie, what are you talking about? Can you place the Elizabeth, Mel? I have to talk about Elizabeth and the number 3, okay? The Elizabeth and the number 3, and I know that there's a Dachshund there, and I also have to talk about a Stan. I think it's like a Stanley. I know this is going to sound really weird, guys, but who had tacos this week? Who ate tacos? I'm being asked to talk about tacos, right? Whoever this reading is for, they ate tacos. Don't jump offline. If you jump offline, you're going to not get the chance to win this incredible book, Afterlife, by Scott Alexander King, okay? We had Scott on earlier. I'm giving away one of his books tonight, okay? Share your story of the afterworld. You just played a game with tacos in it. Oh, come on, guys. Who had tacos this week? Like specifically, I don't want to know that you bought them. I don't want to know that you bought that they're somebody's favorite food. I'm being told that you ate tacos this week. Okay. Okay, this is what I'm being told. That you ate tacos this week. There's a connection to a Beth or Elizabeth. There's a connection to the number 3, either 3 years or the age of 3 where a child was lost. I also have to talk about a dog. I feel like it's a dachshund. And there's like a Dan or a Stan name sitting there as well. Okay. I also see a pipe, and I feel like a grandfather would have smoked a pipe. I'm also seeing the military tattoo, so I'm not quite sure what that's about, but you know, I feel like I'm seeing the military tattoo, so there may be a Highland connection, there. Nadia, if they were left, I wouldn't be reading them, sweetheart. So they're still here. Oh, the person left. I don't think so. I feel like somebody's here still, because otherwise the spirit would have gone. Okay. I've got a gentleman here. Maybe I'll profile him. That might be a little bit easier. So I do have a gentleman here, guys, and he's wanting to acknowledge somebody that ate tacos this week, and Elizabeth and all of that stuff that I've been talking about. Okay. He has got dark hair. He's casually dressed in a shirt and pants. Okay. I would put him in, you know, 70s, early 70s, 73, 74. I have to place him there. Jackie O'Sullivan, I feel like I am with you. I feel like this guy is with you, okay? Because there's been a lot that's come up, Jackie, and so I'm feeling that I am maybe with you, Jackie, because there's been a lot of info that you could place in regards to this. So I do have a gentleman here. I feel as if there's like a pipe or relative to a pipe that's actually near and around him as well. He's walking with a bit of a limp, so I know that there's something connected to his hip or his back, his lower back. So I don't know whether there's been back surgery or hip surgery, but I have to place one or the other. And I feel like my leg's a little bit a side loopy, if that makes sense. So I feel as if my legs, one leg is longer than the other one, if that makes sense. So I have to acknowledge that as well. I'm being shown hearing aids, so I know that he had a hearing problem, or he's making reference to somebody having a hearing test or requiring a hearing test sitting here also. I know that this gentleman had a fall either at the time of his passing, or just before his passing. So I have to make it relative that either he had a fall and broke his hip, or had a fall and hurt his back. But I feel like I've hit my head, okay? I feel like I've hit my head. I feel disorientated, and I feel as if I've hit my head. So I know that the gentleman that I'm talking to may have had a fall at the time of his passing or near to the time of his passing. I have to connect with him to either the name Beth or Elizabeth, and I feel as if number 3 is relative as well. So, and I wanted to place this with a child, okay? So a child that's either 3, birthday, death day, anniversary of 3-year passing, if that makes sense. Your pop hit his head, but has none of those names. Okay. Thanks, babe. Look, Jackie O'Sullivan, I'm going to pass this message across to you because I really feel that I'm with you on this one, okay? I just really feel sometimes we don't know information, and we need to go back and we need to talk to people near and around us in our lives that, you know, will place information for us. But I do feel that I do have a grandfather figure for you, Jackie O'Sullivan. You know, I know that I'm connected to, or I have to place an Elizabeth somewhere here or a Beth somewhere here. I also have to talk about the number 3, okay? And I feel like that's connected to a child, either a 3rd birthday or a 3rd passing anniversary or 3 years that the child was lost. I have to pass that as well. The grandfather, I feel like smoked a pipe, or there's a connection to a pipe, or somebody has his pipe. I have to place that also. I feel like he had plenty of hair. He's just a general guy, you know, and I feel like he would have passed, you know, quite, I feel like bruised and battered in a way, because I feel like I've had a fall and injured my hip or my back, okay? So I just have to sort of like make that relevant. But sometimes, you know, we don't know the names, and the same goes for you, Lisa. The name, you know, the names and things like that we can't place because we need to go back and talk to people. But this spirit is really stuck around for the entire show, okay? So I know that this is going on. Hang on a minute. What's Loretta got? Ah, there we go. Loretta. Are you my cousin? Okay, here we go, guys. This is, you're off. All right, Loretta Henderson. Okay. Yeah. Look, Jackie. Yeah. Okay. So you're talking about my granddad, Loretta. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm with you, babe. Um, Jackie O'Sullivan. Go check out that information. But I think I'm with my cousin here, Loretta Henderson. Chusha, I don't know. So her sister was 3. She had a spirit friend named Elizabeth. At this time, we had a dachshund dog, and Dad smoked a pipe. Before he died, he had a fall and broke his hip. His brother's name is Ern. There you go. Okay. All of the information that I've been trying to place is sitting here with Loretta. So I'm gonna place this information. So Loretta, I feel like I've got your dad. Okay, so this is my granddad's brother. And I feel like I have him because this is the information that he's been giving me for the entire banter. And I've placed different bits and pieces with people, but it was such specific information and you know, quite forceful. And I was hearing the name Van or Ann or something like that, but it's actually he's probably trying to talk about. And we know that Pop's name was Ernest, okay, but I had the name Van or something along those lines. I'm just feeling like I have to acknowledge transition is what he's actually talking about for you, and I'm so glad that I've been able to place him for you, because I was, you know, it's getting to the end of the show and it's probably a lot longer than I normally do the banters for, but I've done it an extra now because Scott was on, and you know, a lot of you have hung on, which is just amazing. But I do feel like I have your dad, and you no, it's fine. I do think I have your dad, because they remember stuff, you know, they remember what's actually going on, and they remember and they put it together. And you know, the fact that you've put that all together and then gone, hey, look, it's a long shot, but I think this is it. And then that's the information that I was looking for, because that's the information that they were giving me. And it was really specific. So thank you for speaking up. Because it would have done my head in otherwise, because I knew I had a connection here, and I knew that one of you was watching, and I just, you know, knew as I had to connect out and reach to you. So what I'm actually seeing for you is what I'm actually seeing for you, Loretta, is like muddy feet on a doormat, okay? And I feel like what I want to say to you is that you know, don't let people bring their muddy shoes into your house, okay? And by mud, I mean like dirt, if that makes sense. So I'm just feeling as if I want to say to you, like, be mindful of who's actually coming into your world. Be mindful of who's coming into your environment, if that makes sense. Because I'm just feeling like sometimes people drag shit in, and sometimes people drag mud in, and it's just stuff that you don't need. You know, you're going through your own stuff, you're going through enough stuff, and I feel like, you know, come visit, sure, but don't lay your shit on me, if that makes sense. And you know, I feel like this is really relative for you at the present time. What I'm seeing also for you is producing like jams and boiled fruits in jars and things like that. Can you place that, babe? Like preserving is the word I want to use. So I don't know whether you've been doing it or it's connecting or relative to somebody near and around you, preserving, if that makes sense. But I'm seeing like the old jars, the mason jars that are being preserved, and I feel like I'm wanting to put like apples in them and things like that. So I have to place that's there with you as well. Your dad is also talking about pain in his hands also. So I feel like there's pain in my hands, and I feel like I've pain, you know, sitting in my hands. So I don't know whether that's you that's got pain in your hands or whether it was actually him that had pain in the hands, but I'm just feeling like, you know, I want to rub my hands and actually just, you know, stretch them out a little bit. It's been a long time, I'm being told, that since you actually, you know, did your creative side or worked with your creative side, and I feel like I need to stretch it out and get back to it as well, okay? Oh, you're thinking of buying a new juicer and collecting jars for a friend. Okay. Yeah, I can see that, Loretta. This is really specific. Somebody would have done this, okay? So did your mum do that? Did she do the jams or anything like that? Um, yeah, my granddad used to do that too with his hands, rubbing his hands. He's got all right. Anyway, Loretta, I know it's your dad, and he's just passing across messages and just saying, you know, don't let people bring rubbish into your house. You know, put up your boundaries and just protect your energy, because I am feeling that, you know, there has been some changes in your world, and that, you know, sometimes you have to lay down the law, if that makes sense. I don't know whether somebody you know, whether somebody's overstepped their mark with you, or whether somebody's like overstepped their boundary or overstepped their welcome, if that makes sense, because they're showing me this muddy mat, and I feel like that's what I want to say, and I feel like that's what's relative there. Okay. So I have to acknowledge that as well. Your father's talking about medals as well. So I don't know whether he was in the war or whether he had some medals, but I'm being told medals. And I don't know whether there's medals in a box. Loretta, I have to acknowledge that medals in a box or something in a box, and I want to bring them to light, babe. I want to get them out of the darkness and bring them into the light. Okay, so I have to bring them out. It's like I want to dig through a box. I want to bring them out, but I have to talk about some medals, or some sort of a certification or something along those lines. And I feel like there's a frame connected to it, or something in a box or something like that. Can you place that? Oh, I had a badge of pops. Okay. Is it in something? I feel like it's in something. All right. Anyway, I feel like I want to bring it out, whatever it is. Just bring it out. Guys, I'm reading all your messages. He kept it in a box of special things. Yeah, I feel like it is in a box. So I don't know whether it's a metal box, but I feel like it is in a box. And yeah, I just want to place that with him as well. Also, you know, for you personally, Loretta, I want to go to, I'm not a medical doctor or anything like that, but he's talking about making sure you look after yourself, making sure you look after yourself. So, and I'm really being drawn to sort of like your reproductive area. So I don't know whether, you know, there's something there going on for you. And I don't, you know, I don't really want to, you know, blast your medical conditions all over social media, but, you know, I know it's going to make sense by your dad talking about getting things checked and keeping things in alignment. Okay, just general well-being, and I feel like I'm drawn to those areas there, if that makes sense. All right, guys, I'm going to finish it there tonight because it's been a really long night. I've done nearly an extra hour for you. We've had the incredible Scott Alexander King on tonight, and you know, I'm just really feeling that you know, there's been so much information tonight that's been passed through. I'm glad we were able to pass that, you know, pass that spirit, which is incredible, because I really knew that I had that information there. Guys, please share my page, and you know, invite people to the banter. It's every Sunday night at 8 p.m. and you know, it's every Wednesday at 12 o'clock. All right, tonight we've done nearly 3 hours live. Okay, nearly 3 hours live. We started at 8 o'clock with Scott Alexander King, and I've done an extra hour on my own for you guys, you know, just to catch up on some of the readings that I know you always love to watch. So that's going to be cool. Loretta's saying, I think my sister had it. Yes, I've just had eye surgery. Thank you so much. Lovely to connect with you. You're welcome. Mel Edwards, I've just said that. It's Wednesday at 12 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time, Sundays at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Okay, now coming up in a couple of weeks, we have Nick Vibes. And Nick is the author and creator of these cards. I've got Nick coming up. I think it's the 24th. I have to check the date out for you. So we've got Nick coming up on the show. And if you want to buy any of Scott Alexander King's stuff from Animal Dreaming Publishing, you just gotta click onto this link here. I'll actually copy it for you, so you can actually copy it and show it, or copy it and paste it, or whatever you need to do. Let me have a look if I can do this. Where am I? I go to comments. All right, that's the link for Animal Dreaming Publishing. Okay, I'm just going to see if it's going to work. It should work. Okay, so if you want to buy any of Scott's cards, books, or anything from Animal Dreaming Publishing, I've just popped up the link there. Coming up on the 10th, of this month, I have my platform show. You can go to my Facebook page, the Australian Psychic Barber, and you will see that there is a link there to StreamYard to purchase tickets to the event on the 10th. Okay, it's $30 for a ticket. We'll send you a Zoom link, and you can watch the show live from the comfort of your lounge room. Okay, also, if anyone wants a private reading, we can certainly organize that for you. My readings are getting quite busy now, guys, so I do get to people as soon as I can, and I do book people in the next available opportunity. So if you do want a reading with me and you do want to connect to your loved one in spirit, it's office.ozpsychicbarber@gmail.com. That's office.psychicbarber@gmail.com. Okay, and you can message and we'll respond there and get you in for a private reading. You have to understand, guys, that public forum, sometimes the information that comes through isn't applicable or isn't appropriate for a public forum. So if I've seen your message and I have ignored it, or it seems that I've ignored it, please understand that I have seen it. Okay, but the information might be too private to actually share on social media. So if you are reaching out, if you are reaching out for your loved ones, and I'm just laughing at my other half's written up, but funny. Anyway, you're so funny. Sleep deprived. Yeah. Anyway, so if you do want a reading, please contact me, and you know, just be aware that I haven't ignored you guys. Sometimes the information is just too sensitive to share on social media, and so spirit will go to something a little less heavy, if that makes sense. So you know, in a private reading, you have that solitude, you've got that sacred space that you can set, and you know, you can talk one-on-one, you can bring through the loved ones and bring through messages that are really private, and you know, it's not going to be blasted all over a social forum. So please, guys, if you're watching and I haven't answered your questions, it's not because I haven't seen you. It's just because spirit is guiding me to go with what's appropriate for this show. Okay. But you know, if you do feel like you want a private reading, by all means, you know, feel free to contact me. Anyway, that being said, I hope that each and every one of you have had an incredible week. I hope that those of you that are still in lockdown in Melbourne are coping okay. If you're not, remember to reach out, let people know that you're not okay. Talk to people, and just, put yourself out there, and, just love yourself and be loyal to yourself, and just understand that, everybody has ups and downs, and everybody, has, shitty days, basically. And it's okay to not be okay. We have this crazy belief system that we have to be okay all the time, and that's just bollocks. We don't have to be. So if you're not okay, please let somebody know that you're not okay. Somebody's asked how much is a private reading. I charge $150 an hour, Lisa. So yeah, which is sort of like, below standard, really. But I understand that COVID is going around, so I have dropped my prices so that it is affordable for people. Mel, I've still got the brown tourmaline, the dravite. It's right here with me. So you asked that question, and yeah, I still do have it, and it's still here. Okay, guys, I'm gonna love you and leave you. I am sending love and blessings for your week. I'm back on again on Wednesday at 12 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time, or Melbourne time. And in the meantime, I just want you to all do something great for yourself. Okay, love yourself. Smile. Just enjoy and laugh. Laughter is the best medicine. We just carry on laughing nonstop. Like today my partner and I were just like, do you think we're ever going to stop laughing at each other? Because we're just like absolutely crazy, with things like that. Before I go, as I promised, I do have an Afterworld book to actually give away, and I'm really feeling as if I have to. I've been looking at all of your information, and I've been looking at all of your readings. But the person that I actually feel drawn to, that needs this book the most at the present time, is actually Nadia. Is it Nadia Tsitsas Napoli? Nadia, can you please email me office.ozpsychicbarber, and please contact me so I can send this book out to you. Okay. So congratulations, Nadia. I just feel as if, I was really connected to you, and yeah, I hope that's good for you. So Nadia, contact me, and I will send this beautiful book out for you. If you didn't win this book tonight, you can order it from Animal Dreaming Publishing. So anyway, there you go, guys. The winner of the book is Nadia. Okay, everybody, that's it for me. Busy week ahead. Lots of love, lots of gratitude. I just want to say thanks for joining me. It's been a long one tonight, guys. But I think it's been worth having a long one. Scott was incredible. He answered some really valid questions, and it's really awesome to have somebody of that magnitude on my show. He is really well known in the industry. He's really sought after on an international platform, and for him to give us his time, I'm very, very grateful and humbled. So you guys should be too, because yeah, he doesn't lend his time to everybody. All right, guys, I'm signing off, sending you love, and just be kind to each other, and be kind to yourself. Lots of love till next time. See you later.